Hello, hello, hello. How's everyone doing today? Am I doing we're going to wear the tripods hat today. How's everyone doing today? I'm going to start collecting hats. If you make a hat and you want me to wear it on stream, send it to the P.O. box. I'll wear your hat. I'm going to start rotating hats because starting to hide from the hairline. How's everyone doing today? It's a nice, lovely Friday. Friday. It's Friday. Printers are printing. I got a benchy going. We're going to do some more testing on the V400 today. As you can see, I ran this off yesterday. It finished last night. 21-hour print. It's 275 millimeters tall. I actually could have printed this a little bit bigger. I think I could have gone up to a little over 300, and I still would have fit on the X, Y, or diameter, because it's a delta. But I didn't want to use up. This was already like 560 grams and like square cube lot. This thing eats up a ton of filament. So that's doing that. They're all printing Mando parts still. And now we're printing a little benchy because we need a benchmark. So yeah. Let me get something here because I never always forget to pin it. Win some printer chow from Polymaker. Enter in description. So yes, if you want to win some filament from Polymaker, because everyone needs filament. I need a lot more. I am running out. Oh my God. If you want to win some, link in the description. Teddy here. Thank you for becoming a member. David, howdy y'all. I hope everyone's having a good Friday. Anyone else affected by the Rogers outage? Not me. I live in, I have a local provider for my internet that is not piggybacking on any of the big three network. So I don't have to worry about that, luckily. Thankfully. What's the filament? It is 3D Jake Magic PLA Metallic Emerald. And it's that fancy bicolor filament. So it's actually like, it's two colors, but it's like a toothpaste. You ever get toothpaste with multiple colors? They extrude it like that. So as long as you have your filament orientated in the right way, it always lays it down the same way so that as you spin the model, it gradually changes between the two colors. And it actually came out really good on this model. Like, and this was 21 hours. What else did I do? I took the spool changer off, or the spool holder. So because this spool holder is absolute complete garbage, that's the only thing I can complain about this printer. Up top here, this is actually the spool holder from an Ender 3 V2. I had to go with that because this one doesn't fit a lot of spools. Is this some Jesse? Yeah, so like the Jesse PLA spools, the plastic ones, barely fit. And then the 3D Jake stuff didn't fit at all. So I ripped the spool holder off my Ender 3 V2, which is already ripped apart. Same whole pattern, mounts right up top. If you get one of these, it's 2 screws to mount the actual spool. So I'm sure somebody will quickly CAD up an extension that you could just bolt to it. But for now, that's the only thing I can complain about this machine so far is, for a machine of this quality, the spool holder is junk. Like this is no excuse. We shouldn't be still doing this, folks. Yeah, something off the Ender was an upgrade. Tells you how good the spool holder is. Like, honestly, if they just steal the Ender 3 one, it's fine for the vast majority of people. You don't need no fancy rollers or anything, but it's just, this doesn't hold a lot of bigger spools. And companies are moving to bigger spools. Here's a Replatech 600 millimeter spool. They don't fit. People are printing with bigger machines, with bigger print volumes. This can fit on here and use up over 1 kilogram of filament. Now, the filament runout works. I was printing some PETG and I threw the part out because I sliced it wrong and the supports destroyed it. It wasn't worth saving. But I ran out of filament and it paused. I put some new filament in. I got it going ahead. I hit resume. It's good to go. So that's going down good. But yeah, so today we're going to print with this. So right now I've got a benchy going. Pull it up here. I do have a webcam working too. Might not want to work. Might have to restart the web. Yep. Did I unplug? Oh, I unplugged the webcam by accident. Yeah. So, no, there we go. So the webcam's a little buggy right now. I think I unplugged it and plugged it in, or something happened. But the webcam's kind of working when it decides to work. I think I got to restart it. But yeah, it's going pretty good. Now, I did get their slicer. So it turns out I was going about it wrong. I misread the instructions. On the SD card that came with it, there is a version of Cura 4.13 point something. That comes with the FL Sun V400 as a selectable printer. So it's not Cura 5, but the version of Cura that comes with this printer does have the V400 as a selectable printer, and it has a profile built into it. It's only one profile. It's a 0.2 millimeter profile. Let me move myself out of the way here. So as you can see, here are your settings. If you take a look, these are your default settings that come with this printer with Cura. So it's a 0.2 profile. It's nothing super fancy. I think I've played around with the infill density and grid, but temperature is 210, 60 for PLA. It's only PLA. There's only one profile for PLA. If you change it to other filaments, it doesn't really change the temps. But these are your speeds and feeds, and I'm sure this is what everyone kind of wants to know is what is default speed for this printer. And it's we got 400 travels, 350 infill, 120 outer wall, 280 inner walls. First layer speed's 25. We have 8K Excel for all the YOLO stuff, and then 5K for the walls. So that is the default profile, and that's what this was printed at. So I have some pictures on my Twitter at 3DP Nero if you want to see better pictures of this. But this was printed at the whoop. Did I break a tip off again? No, I did. Okay. This was printed at the default profile, default settings. I think the only thing I did was I dropped the infill so I wouldn't use as much filament, because you don't really need a ton of infill on this model. But yeah, ever so slight amount of stringing, but that's like, because this is a silk filament, which does that. I can't really complain. What is a dual color filament? It's, there's a few different companies that make dual color now, or bicolor filament. This is Magic PLA from 3D Jake. So is it fair to compare it to the bamboo? Not today. I won't go into it today. But I will put this machine and this machine together in head to head. They're two different machines for two different use cases, I think. I think the bamboo is aimed more towards the prosumer, or people who are going to be printing engineering, and like engineering gear. I mean, not Peak and Ultim, but like PLA, or not PLAs, ABSs, ASAs, nylons, polycarbonates. Like, this is an enclosed printer. This is an open air printer. Different strokes for different folks. You can do much taller stuff on here, and actually much bigger stuff, because this is a bigger volume. But it's not enclosed. It doesn't have a plug-in tool or filament changer. They are different machines for different people. So today we're just going to focus on the FL Sun. Like the hat. I know some nice guy at Murph gave it to me. So I think I'm going to start doing hats. So if you have a hat and you want to send me a hat to wear, send it to the P.O. box and I'll wear your hat. I think that's what we're going to do. How hard would it be to enclose? So if you caught Joel's stream, which was yesterday? Wednesday. It was Wednesday. Joel unboxed this on Wednesday and I was on stream with him. It was super cool. But one thing I'm playing around with, I need to go get some because I'm actually out. So I'm using a scrap piece here. Coroplast. So corrugated plastic, you know, the stuff you can enclose your Voron with if you're cheap. Like I've done it. Coroplast, if you get the right size and you kink it in the middle, sits in the extrusion slots. And you can bend it out enough that the tool head shouldn't hit it. And it just sits in there. Like it just sits in there. So I'm gonna go to Michael's tomorrow, or maybe tonight, I don't know, and get 3 sheets of it, and I'm just gonna do this and see how it works. Throw a temperature thing in there and just see what kind of temperature we get. So it's a quick and dirty setup, but if you just want to enclose it quickly to just run off some ABS, which I need to do, we'll see how it works. How long did the castle take? Well, 21 hours, 23 minutes was the elapsed time. So yeah, because you have slots here. You have slots here. These are bigger slots, like your usual T slots, the nuts that you have on hand for most printers aren't going to fit here. And also because the footprint of the machine, the tool head travels outside of it. You can't just put panels on it, unfortunately. That would be super awesome. But if you just, wedge some polycarbonate, or not polycarbonate, because you got to bow it. I'm sure you could get fancy with a heat gun and a form and like make some bent polycarbonate. But if you're just looking to quickly enclose it, especially since you can literally just plug in a generic webcam and stick it anywhere and you got webcam monitoring, go for it. Just enclose it quickly. You want the stats overlay? The stats overlay is only on the mobile screen. Oh, there we go. How expensive is it? Link in the description. Right now it's on pre-order for $6.99, but I guess on Joel's stream, one of the reps was mentioning that they're almost out of the pre-order. So I'm assuming that's like the first batch of printers is only available at the pre-order price. So you might want to hurry up. Pre-order sold out. Okay, if it's sold out, it's sold out. So it's $8.49 or $8.99. I won't say buy or don't buy this printer. Okay, I've got since Tuesday on it. Okay, I don't have anywhere near enough time on this machine to give you a review. At this time though, the only thing I'm bitching about is the spool holder. Take that as you will, but it depends on your use case. Okay, pre-order has expired. Is the link still work? You should still be able to click that link though. I don't know, they just said use this link for the video. I don't know where that link actually leads. Pre-sale. Oh yeah, so yeah, you're probably, yeah, it's sold out, so you're probably gonna have to wait till they're commercially available to buy. So no more pre-ordering, it looks like. Will I make a review? I probably will. And honestly, I probably will compare this with the Bamboo. We'll probably do a 2-for-1, like do them both, because let's be honest, everyone's already done a review on the Bamboo, or a bunch of people already have. So I'm just going to be another dime a dozen review for it. I'm not going to bother. I've talked about it enough on stream. If you're curious about my thoughts on it, ask me on stream. But I might do a head-to-head between these two. Which, speaking of head-to-head, let's see what the Bamboo does for a benching. Stop. Odes. 3D. So, we all know the Bamboo does a benchy in 17 minutes or whatever, the speed benchy, but that's a demo G code. That's not using their actual slicer. So, let's see here. So if you're curious about a Bamboo, this is a 30-minute benchy. Their default profile spits out a 30-ish minute benchy. The Bamboo is a 34-minute benchy with their default profile. Okay, so they're pretty close in terms of speed. Both these machines are kind of on the same level speed-wise. Apparently, though, somebody was mentioning in Joel's stream, they also have a demo unit of this, and they're pushing like 600 millimeters a second. Yeah. That's a really tall machine. It is a very tall, it is almost a meter tall. It is 93 centimeters tall, I believe. 37 inches? I don't know. I'm here, and it goes up to here, which is almost as tall as up here, but it's about here. But the spool is about here. So as you can see, it's quite tall. But how's the quality at 30 minutes? Well, Bamboo is currently working away on something, so I can't really compare. But this one will be done in a minute, so we'll be able to take a look at this one in a minute. I don't know where the bamboo one went. I don't know where the bamboo benchy went. You can always just watch my video on it if you're curious. Set the bamboo to plat. So here's the thing for the speed. All it is a speed modifier. The normal mode is 100%. Like, because a lot of people are like, oh, it's different speeds or it's different modes. It's not modes. It's silent, standard, sport, ludicrous. 60%, 100, 150, 200. All it is a speed modifier. So you're not setting it for ludicrous speed. You're setting it at 200% modifier. It's a marketing thing. I honestly, I've been running mine on silent at night because the bamboo is loud when it's cranking. Have I tested the V400 or 400? I have not. I will run a base mode print on this at some point to go to max to see how it handles it. But yeah, it's like turning the knob pretty much. You can see it closer there. So elapsed time 33 minutes. The timer's still running because it's going up. But it's a 33-minute benchy. There you go. 33 minutes, 21 seconds to the time this parked. The default profile does print with a brim, which honestly, after doing production work on the heavy Mando armor for the past, week and a half, 2 weeks, I'm fine with stuff printing with a brim because like it comes off super easy and it just adds a ton of insurance to your print. So I've been using the brim a lot lately. And with faster printers, when stuff like not so much this machine as the bed's not moving, but when you're whipping around fast, you kind of want a little bit more security holding your part down because you kind of don't want the print to fail because it flew off. So let's go overhead, focus. There you go. So there's a 30-minute benchy on this. So I kind of want to still test. I'm not going to do speed benchies on this yet. I still want to play around with it at default settings for a bit, but I kind of want to print something big. Can it print carb? No. Okay. So the nozzle on this, I'm pretty sure is not a hardened nozzle. I don't believe it comes with one. FL-Sun V4. Don't believe it comes. Do any slicers do mouse ears? You can add shapes and add a cylinder that's 0.2 millimeters tall. That's what I do normally. You got a bimetal heat break. The filament detector works great, by the way. And for Clipper, for those that don't know how a filament detector works on Clipper, it works pretty much. You need to have a pause macro, essentially. So how a filament detector works in Clipper is you have to remember Clipper sends batched commands. So your filament detector needs to be somewhere away from the tool head because Clipper runs batched commands. So when it sends that, oh shit, stop, you need to give some G code that's already running on the machine time to finish before it goes, oh shit, stop. So you don't want a filament detector in the tool heads, especially below the extruder or anywhere in the tool head where if it keeps sucking down filament for a little bit after it detects it's out, it'll, be a pain to get the filament out. So up here, you got the detector's way up here and the tool head's going to be, anywhere here to here. So you're going to have some extra filament. So you're okay on this because it takes time to buffer. But for the filament, this is all it is for Clipper to do a filament run out. You just have to have a switch. You plug it in, and this one is plugged into PA4. You filament _ switch _ sensor, space filament sensor, whatever. Pause on run out true. So when it detects, it's activated or deactivated, it runs the G code macro pause. So it basically just pauses your print. You pull your old filament out, you feed some new filament in, make sure you feed it through the filament detector. You put it in, you hit resume on the screen or over there, and it just goes back to printing. So that's end stop, filament run out in Clipper. It's actually really simple. It's just you have to remember to have the switch away. So on like a Voron, you would have the switch like mounted up top here or somewhere like near the spool. You can't be as efficient as one directly in the tool head with Marlin, because Marlin, it's instant. But you want it in a place where you're going to have a little bit of run out time. So good afternoon. Good for cosplay, Bass. You guys want to print something on here? What can we print? I want to print something big. It will fit a Mando helmet. Because for those wondering, I know Loyal Moses was asking, it will print a full-size Mandalorian helmet if you center it right. It's kind of a bitch, because I don't know, Cura has like no auto range that makes it fit. Like you can't. But if you rotate it up enough so it's like vertical, it does fit, I believe. Did get it working last night or something? It's tight. But if you want to do like Stormtrooper helmets on this, full size ain't gonna work. They're too big. They don't fit. So it's 300 circular. My heavy Mando helmet fits. The heavy Mando helmet fits if you print it vertically instead of laying it down, but you use more supports. A Falcon 9. Actually, is there a good rocket model? Let's do a rocket. Let's max that out. Let's do a big old rocket. Most popular. Printables. Why do I have a werewolf? Okay, rocket. Somebody give me a good rocket. Let's print a big rocket. Print a faint 0G astronaut. It's a 0G astronaut. I always look for stuff off screen because you never know. Just go astronaut. There you go. What is it? What is a 0G astronaut? Search for Starship. Is there... I know there's like a paid model for the Starship. Oh, this guy. Oh, the 0G. This ain't a 0G. Does it have cowbell? I can print a cowbell. Big vase. I don't want to do a vase. Honestly, vase prints are boring. It just goes until it gets to the top. Like, they're fun to show off, but watching them print is kind of... let's see here. Chip. See, that prints with support. Base X. Yeah, see, I don't want to... Actually, does it print with support? Oh, print this model vertically with support. See, I don't want to print with supports. That's a lot of supports. But just to give you an idea, let's load this up. So we are going to lay it on. Oh, wait, no, this. $90. Okay. Scale. So we can go to 410, but I never like pushing it right to the top. So 205. So we can print this. Probably 5% grid infill. Let's see. Can you use a hardened nozzle? This uses a proprietary nozzle, unfortunately. This is a 5-hour print. 5 hours. Print it with the booster. Well, I got to print the booster separately. So yeah, so there you go. 5-hour print. You know what? I might not even need to print it with support. Yeah, I might be able to squeeze it off without support because it's so bloody tall. YOLO! You need support. Nah, I think we'd be okay. I think the wings have enough angle at this size. Yeah, I think the wings would be okay without support. I think we'd be okay. Lightning infill. What's lightning? I've never used lightning infill. What's lightning infill? Place. You don't even need infill with this model, honestly. I'm just doing the infill because that where it would print fast with the infill. Like, it shows the printing fast of the infill. But I don't even think this model needs infill, honestly. Yeah, no infill. It's just hollow. Let's just do regular, like a low percentage infill, like 3%. Just that way I don't accidentally crush it. And we'll do cubic. Everyone likes cubic. I like cubic. You guys like cubic? Let's do that. Have I tried print in place models to test tolerances? No, because that's not something you can judge a printer on. There's no point. Print in place tolerance testing models are entirely at the mercy of your slicer setting and your filament. The machine, a mechanically sound printer, only does what you tell it to do. So that is an entire software thing that you can't judge a printer based off tolerance prints. You can't. Okay, so we're down to 44 minutes or 4 hours 45. Yeah, let's print a big old Starship. 410. You want to go right to 410? You know what? It says we can do 410. 410. Go. Okay. 409. There we go. 409. We need a color. What do we got up here? What do we got up here? PLA silver from Prusa. Yeah, we'll do some PLA silver. Okay. Print end macro. It works. Because it goes up to 420. So actually this machine has 420 of Z, by the way. It has, for you not metric rows, 16 inches, 16 and a half inches. I don't have a bigger metric scale, sorry. 16 and a half inches of Z travel. Yeah, mobile. Right there. We are currently at Z. 420. Nice. Speaking of getting high, I need my step ladder. Flesh tone. I'm not doing flesh tone. It's a rocket. We're printing it in silk. Oh, and you gotta be careful. It's easy to put the filament in and get it like wrapped around the thing. So this is 218 kilograms. So Starship, save. I don't know what I'm gonna do with this once I print it. Upload and print. Starship. We'll find out. Yeah, you need your, this printer needs to come with a step ladder. Printing good. That is done. I'm waiting on the chamber to cool a bit. Seal a bit. It's ABS, so I don't want it to warp. Or ASA. Some warp happy ASA too at that. Do you use the clipper unload plugin for Cura? No. I have a habit of just saving my G code to file and then uploading. That's just how I do it. Because I'll some G code I'll use, like all my Vorons, I'll run G code that I slice for this machine on the bigger ones all the time. Because it'll just print not in the center of the bed. It'll just print over a little bit. So I like saving it. It's just how I do it. Which filament was a Castle? 3D Jake, Emerald PLA. It's a bicolor filament, so it's like green and blue. And this is just generic, not Prusa PLA. Is it obeying me now? It is, I think. I think the webcam's being a little funky, though. Yeah, the webcam's being funky. 1 second here. Webcam. Yeah, machine. And 8. Yeah, I don't know why the webcam's not really updating, but it is what it is. Do you have shares somewhere of your start stop G codes? I don't. They're pretty basic. They're nothing really that fancy. How's the stringing on this? Oh. There's some wisps. Nothing I would really call stringing, but it's like a silky filament. Any silky filament, you're going to get wisp. But like, if you look at it, it's kind of hard to see, but like, focus. Like this is at the default speed, which is stupid fast. And you can see even like these little nubbins right there on the top of the, like all the itty bitty stuff for the most part came in pretty good. So I'm pretty happy with the default profile. Get a peek at the macros. They're super simple. Oh, the macros on this machine. There's some bed level, a time lapse, which I don't have set up. Get time lapse. Does it save any time lapses? I don't know. I gotta set up the time lapse. I've never played with Clipper and time lapses. It has the ability to do it, but there is. I don't know what TMC does. Set up, set down, unload, and load filament. Oh, I got the LEDs on, so we're good there. I don't know. The macros are usually like they're generic. It's running Clipper. They're just generic Clipper macros. The Castle one piece. Yep, Castle's one piece. 21-hour print. I could have printed it at. I'm trying to remember. I think I could have printed it at 310 or 325 tall, but it would have used like over a kilogram of filament. At 275 tall, it was 500 and something grams of filament. Square cube law is a harsh mistress when it comes to filaments. How good is the carbon fiber when it comes to printing ABS? I'm a horrible person to ask that because I don't smell ABS. My sense of smell is completely destroyed, has been for a while. Can I live without Clipper? The Bamboo doesn't have Clipper and it's working fine. Sensorless homing on Zed. No, sensorless is only accurate to the nearest full step. So on a Cartesian printer, even like a Core XY, for homing XY, where you could be out of step, it's not really a big deal. It's fine. But sensorless on the Zed, you do not want to use. Because sensorless homing is only accurate to the nearest full step. Which, when it comes to, you know, an accurate first layer, you might not be close enough. How's the Trident? Oh, the Trident's going good. Printing away parts. I just printed, this came off of it. This is one of 4 parts for the Jetpack. That's massive. So I've got I cut it into 4 sections. So I'm printing the other half that attaches to this. And then we got to do 2 more and they attach to here. And then I'm going to acetone weld the whole thing together. But this is, I think, the top of the corner of the Jetpack. Because where's the nubbin that goes on to? This room is a mess right now. Top nubbin, where are you? Uh-oh. Oh, there you are. Yeah, there's this part that goes on top. And then there's the Jetpack that goes on the side, which is absolutely massive. And I've got the top of one of them here, and the Jetpack is going to use up like 3 kilograms of filament by itself. But it's absolutely huge. It's a unit. So yeah. And I'm reprinting the gauntlets. I printed the gauntlets already at the stock size. And I'm reprinting them because I don't like how big they are. They're too bulky. I can't really bend my arm fully, so I'm reprinting them. I've already printed one. I didn't like how it turned out. I think I went a little too small. So this is one of them. I think this is, oh yeah, that's much better. Yeah, that's much better. So for those curious, for the cosplay folks, cosplay, apparently I pronounced it wrong. It's cosplay. For the cosplay folks out there, this wrist gauntlet was a total of seven hours to print, and it does have some support. which is now completely broken off. Done. 7 hours, done. I really can't complain. If you're somebody who wants to do like printing stuff out of ABS for like cosplay or other stuff like that, because it's enclosed, it just chews through that stuff. It's got no problem. What I end up, this is 88%. I originally printed it in 85, but I printed the right arm first. So this is the left arm one. So what happened was, let me go grab my gloves, show you. Because most people, if you're left hand or right hand dominant, your arms are like slightly different sizes. So I scaled this one first to 85% because I figured the one that I printed already, focus on me, was too big, and my hand fits in it kind of pretty fine until I put a glove on. So what ends up happening is I put the glove on and I can barely get it in, and it's tight on my wrist. So I'm going to print this one again at like 90%, I think, because it's getting the hand off is a pain. But the left hand ain't bad, because my left, I'm right hand dominant, so my left hand and arm are slightly smaller. There you go. That one fits on like that. And I think these gloves actually match it pretty good. Yeah. So I'm gonna reprint this one. It's only like 200 grams of filament, so whatever. At like 90%. Yeah. Yeah, I think these gloves actually worked out pretty good, because they got the long sleeve, so I could attach the gloves to them, and they stick. So eat less chocolate. Print Darksaber. I'm not gonna print a Darksaber because I don't want to be a screen accurate Mando. I'm having fun with it. But yeah, I have to take it off with the drum. I could slide the glove off and then take it off. But yeah, these are just gardening gloves, and they'll have the little piece that goes on the back and whatnot still. How you glue? So what I've been doing is I got the GoPro on a quick little cheap tripod, and I've been trying to capture little snippets, because I got to the point where I started to Mando stuff before I realized, oh shit, I'm not recording anything. So I'm like, wait a minute, I'm a YouTuber, I should be recording this stuff. So I'm not going to do an in-depth thing, because I'm figuring this out as I go along, but I'll probably do like a video about it. I'm going to try and do a video on maybe just the blaster first. But I'm really liking this scale, because now I can bend my arm. The other ones came down to like here, so I couldn't bend my arm at all. And then I figured once I have shoulders and an elbow pads and whatnot, so yeah. But yeah, so this one's supposed to have a gun on it, or a blaster. I'm not going to bother. I like the bulkiness of having all the Mando armor that the heavy Mando armor has, because, you know, if you're getting shot at, you want to wear heavy armor. But I don't like the bulkiness of it, so. Did you record Miss Nero kicking you out of the basement? No, because that was like 10 o'clock at night. She came home from work and she's like, what the F? And I'm like, what? She's like, what the F? I'm like, I don't know what. She's like, this stuff stinks. I'm like, oh, I can't smell it. It's like, it stinks. Get it out of the house. So. Yeah, so I'm happy with this one. This one I'm going to scale up to 90% just so it's not as tight. Like, again, I don't have my coveralls on under these either. So, yeah, these are just gardening gloves that I bought cheap off Amazon. Easy peasy. So, speaking of, let's get the other one printed. That one stays. You go bye-bye. So, also, a lot of people, I've seen this on Joel's stream, my stream, Modbot's stream. You print the first layer slow, because it's not a speed benchy, and the print needs to be on the bed for more than 10 minutes. So you print your first layer slow, so you get good bed adhesion. And Cura, which is what the default profile and all the G-code for this is sliced for, ramps up your speed over the first few profiles, or first few layers. So you don't actually hit your top speed until like layer 5. I actually really like that feature with Cura. It ramps up your speed. So you don't go from a nice slow first layer to boom, all out. So it takes a couple layers before you're at speed. Watching Joel's stream on Wednesday there, where people were like, the moment it started printing, were like, crank the speed up, was painful. It's like, give it a moment. Let it do its thing. Generic ABS copy. Yeah. Wall, 4 top bottom, quality, speed, strength. I don't need crazy infill. Do that. Okay. Cooling. Drop that. That's my left arm. I need my right arm. So we got that. I want to lay you down on that face. Need to scale it to 90%. You need to cut off the bottom because they have it in a way where it's fortunately it like, there you go. Okay, because it has this little area here that doesn't sit flat and it's super annoying, so I'm just gonna I'm gonna cut off the bottom so it sits flat on the bed. Do a little support. There, right there. Some up here. And that should be it. Slicing for generic ABS. X. 2, because I've got ABS on it. Okay. Slice. Easy peasy. Bob the Slav, what printer am I building next? There's potentially a few kits that may or may not be on their way. This is the Bamboo app. Which is based off Prusa Slicer. It actually phones home to Papa Joey P. Side note, what's your take on Clicky Probe? Clicky Probe works fine. If you want to use a mechanical probe like Clicky, go for it. Or normal. ET phone home to Slicer. Yep. When can we expect one of those concrete 3D printers on stream? Well, if you want to be technical, I could just go rent a concrete boom that they've been using for I don't know how many decades to do foundations for houses. And instead of some random guy getting paid like 20 bucks an hour to sit there and drive it with a joystick, I could just slap a CNC controller on it and call it a 3D house printer. Let's be honest, 3D printing houses are not actually a practical thing. So, fun fact, Bamboo Slicer is down right now. They're doing like network. So, one knock about the Bamboo so far. They're doing network maintenance for the next week because they're rolling out the whole system to be available when the machine launches. So, because they're going from just a small test server that I'm currently connected to with all the other people with beta units, they're rolling out to the full big production servers. The web integration doesn't work. I can't, this machine is standalone. So I have to run it off SD cards. Okay. I'm printing a Rickroll QR code. Nice. Rogers is down too. Yeah, I don't have Rogers, luckily, so that is not an issue for me, luckily. Nope, no local Wi-Fi yet, unfortunately. Don't like that about the Bamboo. It is what it is. On the bright side, it allows them to like do more consistent updates and, you know, you opt into logging or whatever, it allows them to make the machines better. You know, when you have more information to pull from, it allows you to do more. But on the flip side of that, some people don't like it. It is what it is. I'm not going to say I'm for or against it. That's your own personal, that's your personal thing. If you want it, if you don't want it, don't get the machine. Simple as that. Fido is down. Fido is Rogers. Fido is just Rogers' cheap brand. They're the same network. They're the same company. What is your take on the Big Tree Tech Pi 4B? Are you talking about their screen that uses a Pi? Is that what you're talking about? If it's that, I got nothing against it. My problem with Big Tree Tech is anything they come out with is depreciated within like a year, because they're always changing what they're working on. And chips supply is so inconsistent. Their board that might be really good right now, they might not be selling it in a month. Yeah, you can print off an SD card. That's what I'm doing right now. That's what this was printed off an SD card. Oh yeah, this looks so much better at this scale. I know, I got nothing against Big Tree Tech. Most of my machines are running Big Tree Tech boards. They work. I've got nothing against them. All this ASA. If you don't have one, go get yourself a deburring tool. All it is a little piece of carbide that spins, and you run it around the edge of your prints, and it just knocks the edge off. Who's doing your soft parts? I don't know yet. I have the gloves. I got some gloves here. So I've got the gloves. I've got a gray or charcoal jumpsuit. Because I'm not doing a screen accurate Mando, I have a little bit more freedom to how I kind of want to do it. But I need to get I need the flak vest. That's the thing I need to figure out, is the flak vest that goes over the suit, because I need something to cover up my neck and the zipper on the suit and whatnot. Because armor will cover most of the torso. But I need the flak vest to mount the actual chest armor too. And I want something that has sleeves, because most of it is just like a little cap. I want something that has sleeves. That's what I need to figure out doing. So there are the Etsy, and I have seen the Etsy suits. The problem with the Etsy suits, they're expensive. They're like $100 to $150 for just the flight suit. Whereas I bought this off Amazon, which is just a charcoal gray set of coveralls, let's be honest, for $40. And I just need a black flak vest to go with it. So I really can't complain. $280 for the flight side. Ooh. Yeah, so I'm not going to put the whole thing on, because I actually ordered a size that is like size for me. So this is actually kind of tight. But, and I do need to hem it a bit, so it's a little bit tighter. But I think this kind of works. Like, that kind of works. So I just want to get, it'll be tighter on me when I'm wearing it. It sits like that. So I want to get like a sleeve that comes down to here that's like black, like a black flak vest. I'll probably end up having to sew it. No muscle suit. Hey, I think I got enough bulk here. Put on some shoulder pads with some shoulder pads and you're good. But yeah, I'm actually really happy how this is kind of looking, because the wrists actually fit now at the right size. So is rendering printing really dangerous? Depends on how you go about it. You can do it safely, you can do it not safely. Welcome to the sewing channel. I probably will have to learn how to sew at some point. Apparently there's ways of doing it that you don't sew. You can like glue it basically, which I might do. But I need like a heavy black fabric that I can make it out of, so. Use Velcro on the armor and the suit. So the way I kind of want to do it is because the jetpack is kind of big, I'm going to attach the jetpack to the back panel, and then I'm just going to get webbing so that I can wear it as its own thing. So that way the backpack is actually worn like a backpack. Strap it to me and then attach the armor to the front with Velcro. So that way the backpack is not held on with Velcro or anything. It's actually like webbed on. And then I can just strap everything else to that, like a chest rig, basically. So I gotta get rid of this. I've got this wonderful little Velcro band that I'm never gonna use, so I gotta cut it off. Sewing is surprisingly, I've sewn in the past, but it was like repairing stuff that had broken, basically. I'm ruining these $20 gardening gloves already by removing the elastic. Oh no. There we go. That works. Let that print. Whoa. Oh, that was the bamboo. Just hear, brr. I'm like, what the hell? I've had my helm, boots, and bracers. I am purposely working on this every day. Doing something with this every day. Otherwise, I know if I stop working on it, it'll be like every other project I've tried to do with the 3D printer where I just stop working on it. So I refuse to stop working on this because I know if I stop, I'll stop, and I don't want that to happen. Acetone. Yep, yeah, acetone. These are not welding gloves. You don't want welding gloves. So here's the thing. You have to remember, the suit is going to be hot, and you're going to be holding stuff. While welding gloves look really cool, and they're bulky, a lot of the times they have like branding on them, which on the back you can hide it with the cover thing. But you want them to be thin and light. Like you want to be able to have dexterity. Welding gloves are pretty bulky, most of them. So I guess Nomex flight gloves are a common thing. But I wanted something with the arms here, and these were cheap, and I wanted the leather look. So get an 80s shell suit. 80s shell suit. What is an 80s shell suit? What is an 80s shell suit? If you have an example of that, link it to me on the Discord. Which, by the way, join the Discord. If you haven't joined the community Discord, do that now. Link in the description. Spaghetti alert. Where's spaghetti? Oh yeah, we're gonna get a little spaghetti, I think, for the bottom of the wings. That's okay. Actually, looking at this now, these ones are a lot sharper angle than those ones. Yeah, we're gonna get. Oh yeah, because see, the first few layers come straight out. So here's the thing: I didn't want to print support all the way up here, so YOLO. Print's not failing. Print doesn't fail until it comes off the bed. These are just the wings not coming out too good. Give it some time. It'll fix itself. When using the Snap Lash mod for the 2.1, do you use VHP tape as well? For these? No. For the latches? No, you don't. Paint on supports. Yeah, Cura doesn't have paint on supports. So you know what? We're gonna pause this and we're gonna fix this. Cancel print. So let's fix this. So Cura doesn't have paint on support, so let's generate support. Only at like 75 or bigger. Slice. Let's see what it says. Let's see what it does. I'm worried about the support, honestly, for up here. The support up here would be a bitch. That was a quick cancel. Why wouldn't it be a quick cancel? Yeah, see what I mean? We're going to get this. But you know what? We'll see how it handles long supports like that. YOLO. It adds an hour to the print time, though. Oh, wait, no, because it's doing the inside here, too. Shoot, I don't want air. A support blocker. And, of course, you can't make support blocker. Circular. No, that's not what I want. No. Go. There we go. Place. Yeah, not gonna lie, I'm gonna start working on a super slicer profile for this, or probably just a Prusa slicer profile for this because that's more common for more people. I can add an add-on. Yeah, I'm not gonna deal with add-ons right now. To be honest, I don't use Cura that much. Okay, save to disk. Starship V2 ported. Okay, cool. Upload and print. Go. Somebody sent me a link. Hades shell suit. This better be PG. No, I'm not wearing that. I don't think most Mandalorians would be caught dead wearing this. No. Doesn't match the colors. Supports with bed is the only option. Yeah, but up here is going to need supports anyways, too. Like, let's see here. Support placement, touching build plate. Slice, let's see. They were part of Bobas gang in the book series. It's the fro and mustache. I must mustache you a question. Mustache you a question. Okay, you know what? We're gonna do this one instead. Save to disk. Ported, save. We're gonna run this one instead. Boot that. I'm too lazy to hit cancel. Plus, I want to hit on this because one thing that people always say is never hard reset your printer. Because it's running a Raspberry Pi, you can damage the thing. So I'm going to be doing that a bunch with this, hard resetting it to see if I can corrupt Clipper on it. Because you can't easily flash this, or I don't know how easily you can flash this. So I'm going to be hard resetting this printer a bunch to see if that damages the Clipper install as part of my testing. So I've hard reset every printer that I have running Clipper for years. To date, I've killed one SD card, and it was a no-name brand. And it was after almost 3 years of continuous hard resets. So, yeah. Hey, Maker Viking. I don't know why the webcam is being super slow on this printer right now. Oh, probably because I'm uploading a massive file to it. There we go. Use a smart plug and shut everything down with my phone constantly, so it's all good. There you go. How do you lube a linear rod? You put lubricant in the bearing before you put it on the rod. Now I gotta sand it. Imagine if I just did a stream where all I did was sand all stream. How you guys doing today? This is what we're gonna be doing for the next 3 hours. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. If you want to help support the channel, consider becoming a member. If you want to win yourself some Polymaker filament, link in the description. We give away a spool every... Yeah, no, that would drive me insane. I'm sure it would drive you guys insane too. Nope. 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 Have I tried tree supports? I have, but for this model, it's a spaceship. You don't really need tree supports. Just waiting for everything to heat back up. Sanding ASMR. I don't think that would be ASMR. That's juicing away good. How much is left on this? 57%, so that'll be tonight. Okay. So late night acetone welding. How would you like to extend Revo harness wire and harness a bit to the tool head board? I would just make a new run. What machine are you adding a Revo to? If you're adding a Revo to like a Voron, just run new wires all the way down. Don't try and like jumper them. So just run all new wires all the way down. Use your existing wires that you have for your heater and thermistor. If you're using adding Revo to an old build, just splice them in there at the tool head with a Microfit 3. Remember, next stream, we're watching paint dry. Exactly. Also, I don't want to jump the gun because this isn't a for sure thing. Because I still got to get, work out some stuff with, some things. But I may be going to Earth. Maybe. We'll see. Should know by next week. I have a 3-foot arm switch that makes a loud snap when I power off the power that runs to my house. Nah, man. What you do, you just keep an axe. Right? An axe on the main line that runs to your house. If you need to kill power to your house, you just grab the axe and just go... So... I runs Clipper boots off an NFS share on my Nest. For a second there, I thought you were talking about NFTs. I just quickly going through and I'm like, NFTs, what? Wear a mask this one. Well, I already got COVID, so I don't think you can get COVID again that quickly. So, did I convince Mama Nero it's a business trip? Maybe. We gotta figure it out. Joel's bugging me to go, so I can't disappoint Joel. So if you're curious, I line these up the same. The one on this one here is 85%. This one's 90%. So it's close, but there is more room for sure. Yeah. Like you want them to be tight, right? Joel wears the pants in the relationship. It's Joel. Remember, bigger number, better YouTuber, and he's got more subs, so that's how it works. Just like bigger number, better printer. There we go. This is the best printer in the world because it's got the bigger number. I know I can get reinfected. I know. Rolling the dice. When I simply disappoint Joel. Exactly. How could you say no to Joel? Joel's so nice. No, I'm not bringing my wife because I'd have to bring the little guy too, and that greatly increases the cost of things. For a 300mm printer, would fixed or flying gantry? 300 is about as big as I would go with a Trident. I think that's as big as you can go with a Trident, actually. I like my flying gantry. I do. That's me. Bring Doggo to Earth. No, okay. Earth is in early October. First week of August, I'm driving to Quebec to do family vacation for like a week. And then September, I'm driving another 8 hours to Ottawa for a wedding. And then 2 weeks later, I'm driving to Earth, which is 9 hours. So I'm going to be driving a lot over the next like 2 to 3 months. I'm not bringing the Doggo. Can I switch the camera to the printer? Sure. There you go. It's doing a first layer. You Quebec. Oh, gotta go eat my poutine. Tabarnak, pamplemousse, bibliothèque. Oh. Are we in lockdown? We haven't been in. Oh. It ended months ago. Like back in late winter, I think. I could fly. The problem is by the time you factor in the cost of plane tickets and then a rental, or I just drive 9 hours. Yeah. Why does the effector look sideways? I don't know. It's camera angle. You ready? There you go. Oh, now it's the other way. There you go. Get the what? Oh. Put it right in front here. There you go. Try a camera leveling in process. Yep. 9 hour drive. Nah, just throw the camera up or throw the some Spotify on and call it a day. Also, I've been trying out this stuff here. They sent me this to test, full disclosure. Playing around with some Enviro eco-friendly ABS. That's what the part that I put in the other room is printed out of. Not bad. It's Enviro. Saves baby whales or something. I turned the light off on the hot end. Oh, I turned it off. Here, let me turn it back on. LED on. There we go. What we got right here? Oh my god, how do we have 400 people in here? Hi everyone. How's everyone doing today? Is everyone good? Everyone say it's quiet in chat and we got near 400 people. Everyone introduce yourself. Everyone say hi to everyone in the chat right now. We're gonna go around the room. Everyone say who your name is and what you do. And before all the porn bots. Hey, the porn bots can introduce themselves too. And then that way I can ban them. High engagement, Iggs. Big brain. Big brain. Okay, now everyone go like the smash button. Am I gonna run this in silent mode? No, I'm not. Yes, I know MQTT service is down. Ignore, ignore, clear, ignore. The problem with smart printers is they keep telling you this stuff. Just print. All you need to do is print. Do your thing. $800 eyeballs. Wait. Oh. Sanity over here doing math. Oh, also, this showed up. We're not going to put it in the printer tomorrow. I don't know what we're doing on stream tomorrow. I got to figure something out. But, I can't close the box. 3D Chameleon kit showed up with some really cool PETG parts that were printed by some people I may know. So this is going in the Prusa Mini, the not a Prusa Mini, for those that don't know. We won't be doing it tomorrow because I got to print some mounts for it still. And it showed up yesterday and I forgot to do them. So, Actually, we might. I don't know. I got to figure out, what do you guys want to do on stream tomorrow? What do you guys want to do on stream tomorrow? Programmer X, driving to Quebec. Oui, monsieur. Dans mon auto. No, we're not doing the 3D Chameleon tomorrow. We're doing that next Saturday. Delta printing nylon. Unbreak the fake mini. Well, we have to strap an extruder on it. That's the problem. Print benchies, of course. Unbreak, no. Talked about routine tomorrow. Sand plastic for 3 hours. We could do that. Would the Chameleon work? It should. I don't know if Bill has worked out macros for Clipper, but it's a pretty simple system for how it works. I'll dive into it, but basically to get this Chameleon working on the not a Prusa Mini, we don't need to do anything to firmware at all. Well, I mean, we could through the, I'd have to mess with the gear ratio. I don't know. Maybe we'll get it working. We'll figure it out. Drinking and sanding. Maybe. I mean, I do also have a, I'll save it for next Friday. A Soval SV04. A Soval SV04. But that'll be next Friday's print and chill, I think. M4 then Chameleon. Yeah, maybe we'll slap. You know what? Maybe we'll put the Revo on it. I've got the printed mounts for the Revo. So maybe we'll put the Revo on and we'll try and get it printing. It's all G-code based. Pretty much. It has its own switch, its own controller. I want to see a water-cooled printer. I have zero need for a water-cooled printer. So if I were to do a water-cooled thing, it would have to be like a sponsored thing because I personally have zero need for water cooling. Although, apparently, I got Peak on the way, so we might do some work on Toasty to see if we can get it toasty. Because we got to insulate that guy up. So I might go pick up some stuff tomorrow, and we might do making Toasty toastier. Peak. Yep, got some Ultima on the way. Apparently somebody's sending me a spool. Not here yet, though, unfortunately. How is Toasty? Well, Toasty isn't that toasty because it turns out for what I was printing, I didn't really need it toasty. I just needed, you know, a warm printer. So it works really good at that. But, yeah. Man. Oh. Because you got a problem with warping, so stop it. Belt-driven Zid Ender. Well, the Ender's kind of ripped apart, so. What is a 3D Chameleon? So, a 3D Chameleon, watch tomorrow's Murph video. It's only like 5 minutes long. But 3D Chameleon. Chameleon. This is a chameleon. So, it's basically a 4 filament changer. For your printer, and you can apparently daisy chain them, but this is the kit, and it allows you to basically do like the MMU thing where it swaps filament. This only uses 2 motors, and because we're using it on the Prusa Mini, we're also using it for direct drive, so it's going to be feeding the filament, like controlling it. On some setups like a Prusa Mini, you can still use it, but when it gets to the extruder at the tool head takes over. This one we're actually going to feed from the Chameleon. So do the cat mod. I don't know what that is, but my Ender is completely ripped apart right now. Anyone put a mini inside a boron chamber? I was going to, but mine doesn't fit. It does not fit. Or actually, no, that was the V Minion. And the V Minion has the same footprint, so. What's the castle? It was printed on the V400. It's the fantasy castle that everyone prints at some point. Shut it off at the beginning of the stream. How expensive? 199. Which, by the way, the chameleon stuff is not sponsored. I purchased it with my own monies. So if you want to help support the channel, content I create, and the things I do, consider becoming a member, donating during the stream, or hey, purchasing some memberships for others that are unable to purchase a membership. Thank you. It helps a lot. But no, I bought the chameleon with my own monies. Pallet 3 is 800. Oof. I can't use a pallet because I run Clipper on all my machines pretty much, and pallet doesn't work with Clipper. PF Dennis gifted 5 memberships. Cheers! Thank you. And it should work now. I think I have it fixed, unless I broke it. I might have broken it. Okay, so it should say, yep, okay, PF Dennis gifted the memberships. That works. And then it should read out the new members, and then it should stop. So we'll see. Or, yeah. I need more money for space for even more printers. Yes. Where can I buy the t-shirt? The Voron shirts, these are the Voron shirts that we wore at Murph. They're not for sale. We purchased these from, we commissioned these from a third party for Murph. So, like these aren't from off like the Voron store. We bought, somebody on the team got these for Murph. Carl, I don't think people can on YouTube. I don't think you can buy memberships for people specifically. That's a Twitch thing, unfortunately. Okay, so the Palette 2S works with Clipper. The Palette 3 doesn't work with Clipper. And the problem is with like the 2 and even the 3 is they're slow. Clipper outruns them. Like for how long it takes to do the buffer and everything, it's too slow. What's printing on the FL7? We're printing a 410 millimeter Starship. So we are printing Starship because I wanted to, somebody wanted me to test out the full Z. So we're, instead of printing a vase mode print, which is boring, let's be honest, we're doing a Starship. We're gonna see how it goes. How do you receive a membership? So how it works is you either purchase a membership for yourself. If you become a member of the channel, you get access to a super secret channel on the Discord that nobody knows about, and we keep it hidden. And only members know about it. So if you're not a member, forget what you just heard. And you get videos a day early if I edit them early, but I'm horrible at editing, so usually like an hour early. But either purchase it yourself, or if somebody gifts memberships to the channel, it's random. So there's no guarantee you get it, but there's a chance everyone who's in the channel who's not a member gets a chance at getting that free membership. That's for 1 month. Well, it's not Benchy Club. It's the only Benchy's Yacht Club, to be specific. No, we're not doing Flight Club rules. That was a funny joke, and then somebody thought it wasn't funny, so now we can't make the joke anymore. What is the easiest way to set up dissolvable supports on a V2.4? Not use a 2.4. So the problem with dissolvable supports is they dissolve. So if you're doing a single nozzle setup, you have to use a ton of purge because you need to ensure that you fully flush out the dissolve material before you run filament through it to print. Because if you get them contaminated, which if you've ever printed anything in multicolor that has like light and dark colors, you see how you get bleed through because you didn't fully purge it. You didn't purge it enough. So now you got bleed through. So imagine you had some hips in your ABS or some PVA in your PLA. So with a single nozzle setup, you can do it. You just have to do a crap ton of purge, basically. So you want, ideally, if you're doing multi-material, the MMU, the market as multi-material, the ERCFA is multi-material. I honestly, if you watch how I term them, I say multi-film or multicolor setups. They're really not multi-material setups because you're using the same nozzle temperature. You can cross-contamination. If you're printing colored prints, it's fine. But if you're printing different materials, you want IDEX or tool changer, in my opinion. So, how do members go to the general chat? There's a pinned instructions on how to do that. Or you can switch the hot end. Well, you'd have to switch the whole hot end mid-print. With the SV04. We're going to play with the SV04. I got it in a box out there. That will probably be next Friday. And then apparently I have a Tronxy thing coming in. We'll see. What about the new Swappy? That is something new from a company that hasn't built anything before that I know of in 3D printing and on a Kickstarter. Wait and see. Because right now there's one machine. Pit stop, no. That's going good. That's going good. Good. Am I printing the right one? Hopefully I'm printing the right one. Yeah, this was the one that was too small, so I'm printing that. Yeah. In the bin. No, it's their Tronxy. I don't know. It's a cantilever machine. I think it's this guy. The Crux. I think this is the one they're sending me. I don't know. Maybe something for a Print and Chill Friday to unbox. How many printers? So the most that I've had running at once is I've had the Bamboo, V226, the LDO V2, and Big Papa Joey P. So I've had all these 4 machines running. With the Prusa Mark III running and the resin printer, the whale, and this computer running, all on the same circuit at once. I dare go much more than that. That's all I'll push. Because when I was doing that, I turned the kettle on because that was when I was stuck down here with the COVID. And I had the kettle and I plugged it in on the same circuit, and the moment I turned the kettle on, it blew the breaker. So we're right at that limit there. Bamboo Petchi ASA. Well, this is ASA off the Bamboo. Print's fine. Petchi probably fine. I haven't printed Petchi because I'm out of Petchi. I have no more of the Coke bottle plastic anymore, unfortunately. I need to buy some. Need to build a P-Rex. I will as soon as I am able to. I would love to build one, but there's machine parts in it that I need to get. Same with the VZ bot. I know a kettle uses a lot of power. Well, run extension cords. Here's the problem. I didn't build this house. Okay, I purchased this house. And the previous owner did the basement. The previous owner tied everything into an existing circuit. So this room is on the same circuit as, I think, the laundry room. Yeah. Pretty much this whole basement is one circuit. And it's like, my TV in the family room is on the same circuit as the sump pump. They did not do it the proper way. So I'm a little sketched when it comes to running a lot of power intensive things down here. At least it's 220 then. No, I live in North America. I got that 110 volt. All the amps. I love watching deltas do their thing. Well, no, the laundry room, not... So the washer and dryer are on their own circuit. I think this is tied in with like the lights in the laundry room. Like the normal, like roughed in basement power circuit is all one. It ain't great. So I'm pretty sure all my breakers are 15 amp too. Yeah. Yeah, this is what happens when somebody who does the basement doesn't know what they're doing. Unfortunately, the basement's finished. I would have to gut it all to fix it, so... One of the reasons I'm trying to find somewhere to work out of is not only room, I would like to actually maybe use all my printers at runs to actually print like stuff to sell, maybe start a print farm for small scale stuff. But unfortunately, I can't do that because I can't run these machines for 2 reasons. One, power draw. I'd probably pop a circuit if I tried running them all at once. And two, I record in here and I work in here, and it's kind of a pain to work in here when all the printers are running. Like, I have a heavy noise gate running on my audio right now because I've got all these printers running and it's warm. So, how many live streams of content would redoing your basement give you? Have I seen the new Manta boards? I think I have. Eh. The Big Tree Tech Manta. Okay, let me take a look. Let me take a look. Okay. So, okay. I mean, okay. Here's the thing. It's a 32-bit controller with TMC drivers powered by a Raspberry Pi. The only difference is it's an all-in-one package. Functionally, it's going to be the same as every other board that's currently out there. That's why I don't do board reviews. They're all the same. This one, you know, if you can get your hands on a CM4, you can plug it in, or they're not a CM4 equivalent. So, I know you don't need a Raspberry, but you don't need a Raspberry for Clipper. You can, I have a, oh my God, where did I put it? Yeah, is it over here? That's the pie shop. No, there's a mellow shit. Where's the mellow shit? There's the mellow shit. Okay. Yeah. So, I've got some goodies here to test. I got to play with this, the Beagle camera. So I got to play with that. But Mello sent me some stuff. And one of the things they sent me is this. I got the Fly Gemini, which is basically the same thing, but this has the H5 built into it. So this got an H5 built into it. They didn't send me any drivers though, and I don't know if I have enough spare drivers to actually use it with anything. And then, is this the rest of it? No, that's the Fly shit board. Am I missing a whole bunch of stuff? Where did I put all this stuff? Oh, here it is. I also have a Raspberry Pi I gotta find. There we go. So, this is Physek, actually. So this is the Physek, I don't even know what board this is, but it's got 4 TMC drivers in it, and the Cheetah. You could put a CM4 in here, but they also send this, which is basically an, I don't even know, an ARM? I don't know, it's running Clipper though. It runs Android or whatever. And you just slot that in like that. It's an M.2 slot. Same thing. So you're gonna see a lot of boards coming out in the little future now, because nobody can get a Pi that use alternatives for running some sort of Linux, so you can install Clipper. And the thing is, I fear with all these boards is they won't be around in 6 months, because whatever chips they're using won't be around in 6 months. So look at Big Tree Tech's products over the past 2 years. They keep coming up with new things that use different hardware because they can't keep hardware in stock for any of them. So the 32-bit controller with TMC drivers, they're all going to run a printer exactly the same way. There's really nothing to really judge them on. They might blow up if they're bad quality. That's about it. And speed-wise don't matter. Okay, whatever megahertz the MCU, let's remember a ramps with a Pi 00 will outrun a Duet 2 running RepRap in Clipper. Like, Clipper, you have a massive amount of overhead in Clipper in terms of what you can do. Nitram, you know, the guy doing 3-minute speed benchies on a Delta, was running a Tri-Gorilla board. That's an 8-bit board with Clipper, and he was doing 3-minute speed benchies on his Delta. So the speed of the MCU honestly doesn't matter. It's just a bigger number. That's it. In terms of functionality, it don't matter. What lower cost boards support RepRap firmware? There's a bunch now. I think Big Tree Tech makes a bunch now. Mello makes a bunch. Where is it? The CDY? I have the CDY. So I've got the Mello CDY. I can't. Got a key here. The heck? Oh, that's a antenna. Okay. Yep, unplug that. Unplug that. How many controller boards do I have over here? Holy shit, what are all these? What the heck is this? Big Tree Tech. Oh, that's an SKR2. That's a Duet 2. Okay. I don't know. Like, I've got... What is this? I've had this one for like a year. More. I had this one in the Ender for a bit, actually. This is a Mellow Fly Team... something. A Fly FFR E3. This runs Duet. The Fly CDY V2, that runs Duet. You can get cheap boards that run Duet or RepRap now. So I don't get me wrong, I love Duet hardware. It's just expensive. What's the thoughts on the Physek ERKFA board? I don't know. It looks fine. I have one right here. Two TMC driver. It's chips on a PCB. Like, as long as they didn't design it wrong, which I think they worked with Hart K for this, or whoever did the original board, it should be fine. So, oh, it's got an RP 2040 in it. Seems fine. This one's cool though. This is like their equivalent of the SKR Mini or the SKR Pico. Physek has their own version, which is that, which is actually, if I'm not mistaken, it's actually smaller. So the Pi Pico or the SKR Pico is the same size as a Pi 4 or a Pi footprint, and unfortunately this one you can't stack them, and it uses a stupid Ender 3 hole placement, but it's actually smaller and it does the same thing. That's the thing. They're all TMC boards, TMC drivers, 32 bits. They're all the same. Buy whatever board is the cost you want, with the quality you want, that has the connections you want. That's all about it. You think it's gonna fail? I don't think it's gonna fail. I will say though, this filament is actually pretty gummy. I don't like this filament. Maybe the outside. The engines are looking a little knackered. I remember this is the filament that came with the Prusa, and it was very inconsistent, I found. I printed like a benchy and it was all bubbly. It's just PLA. Marlin. Yeah, I know the Marlin folks have been trying to get 2040, Marlin working on the RP 2040 for a while now, so. This is going to be very fun. It's going to bridge this. We'll see how it handles bridging with its default profile. That'll be fun. Any downsides to the Hedamame headphones yet? Nope. I was using the Minimames the whole time I was down here during my quarantine. They work fine, and I've been daily driving the Hedamames upstairs as my, like, legit headphones on my computer. They're great. I love them. Yeah, honestly, I think the Pico would have been better if you could like directly plug the Nano in, but yeah, or the Pico in, or Zero. I don't. Too many boards. No way the bridge will work. Yeah, why not? We'll find out. I've bridged bigger things. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. It doesn't matter. It's cosmetic. As long as the print doesn't fail for the next few layers after that, who cares? Samuel 5, cheers. Thanks for being awesome. Thank you. Just started building my first forum because of your 10-hour burial. Cheers, have fun. Hopefully it takes you less than 10 hours. CW2 Canvas board. everyone's doing CAN bus boards now. I've got 2 of them now. I've got 2 of the mellow ones, so that'll be fun. Yeah, I got the fly. I got the 2. I got the fly shit and the fly other one. And for those wondering why I call it the fly shit, I'm not the only one who calls it that, and it's because I've got the 2 here. Yeah, so they're both the fly shit 36 and 42. So as you can see, one's a NEMA 14 CAN bus board, so for like the V0, and one's a NEMA 17 CAN bus board that we go back on the, and everyone calls them the fly shit board because they're fly SHT. So yeah. Oh, that's where my Pi 4 went. I have this. So Zombie Hedgehog, the ERKFA needs a tool head with a sensor in the you need to run a tool head that has a sensor below your direct feed extruder. Now you don't need that sensor, and you can actually run it on pretty much any system, but you lose a lot of safety features and redundancy and error checking. So basically any tool head that you can put a sensor below the extruder but above the hot end for filament detection, you're good to go. I believe it works with the EVA. And I know people are making it work with a Prusa Mark III tool head. So, you know, that sensor is just above. It's not as redundant, but it's close enough. So. What does a CAN bus board get you? Instead of running 30 or 20 something wires to the tool head, you run 4. Or no, 6. 4 or 6. I can't remember if it's 4 or 6. But basically, it's running its own MCU at the tool head. So everything at the tool head plugs into that MCU. So you just need to feed it data and power, essentially. 4. Yeah, 4. So you've got basically 2 data and then power. That's it. The board runs everything on the tool head. So you only need 4 wires. Yeah, power, ground, CAN plus, CAN minus. Yeah, so you just need 2 data wires and 2 power, and that's it. And then you plug in everything at the tool head. So on the, like this right here, this board, the fly shit 36. I'm gonna put this when I build the salad fork. I'm gonna put this in the salad fork because this allows you to plug in your motor, your fans, I believe a probe. Yeah, so you got fan. Yeah, you got fans. Oh, the labeling's a little on the back. But yeah, basically you can plug in everything that you would normally have at your tool head into here, and then you just need 4 wires going out, and that's it. Yeah, it's got its own MCU on it, which it's got an RP2040, I believe. Or actually, no. It's got a Trinam. It's got a TMC on it. And a STM32 processor. So yeah, you hook up everything at your tool head to this board, and then you only need to run 4 wires to your controller. Bing, bang, boom, done. Oh, and it's got an 80XL built into it, because why not? Does it have the extruder motor? Yep. It's got a TMC built into it. What am I going to do for dinner today? I don't know. How's that? That's pretty good. I had, oh God, you want to talk about a pain in the butt? This was, where are they? Did I throw them all out? Yeah. Yeah. So that big part that I printed on the Trident that I'm printing the other half right now of 4, it's printing away. Print finishes at 1 in the morning. I'm asleep. I wake up, come downstairs. Print only finished about half of it. Dang it, a clog. I'm lazy. Swap the nozzle. Throw in brand new filament from a different brand that I also know works. Hit print. 2 hours later. Same thing. Print stops halfway through. What the heck? do a bunch of checks, make sure everything's good. Maybe the motor's overheating somehow, because I've been beating on that printer a lot over the past week. Drop my amperage down, right? Make sure the motor's, because it was a little hot. The motor was hot. I'll give it that. Nope. Still does it again. Rip apart the entire CW1 tool head. Rip apart the whole tool head, put it all back together. Now it's working fine. So I'm assuming something was loose. So when in doubt, just rip it apart and rebuild it. What boards are what boards are running Clipper? So there are now boards that you can plug CAN directly into. Okay. I think the newest Octopus does it. The Physik does. There's a few boards out there that have CAN built into it. And with the newest update of Clipper, you can control it through it. Before, you had to use a USB to CAN adapter that you plug into your Raspberry Pi. So it's a USB to CAN bus adapter. You plug that into your Raspberry Pi running Clipper, and then that connects to your CAN bus board. But now the newer controller boards, Clipper can talk to them through it. So some controller boards now have CAN bus. You have to look up. I don't know a full list of which ones do, but I think Octopus does, or the new one does. Bad G code? Nope, wasn't bad G code. It was something was loose, I think. There's a CAN Hatsu. Yeah, there's several different ways you can connect to a CAN bus. How are the rails on this? They're not rails. They are. Well, let's do it. Let me see if I can actually find the spec of what these rails are. Because somebody mentioned they're like an open build type design. Yeah, all the Octopus boards, SKR3 have CAN, at least from Big Tree Trek. They're linear guides. So what they basically are, you have your, this is kind of a bad image to show because you can't really zoom in. I can kind of zoom in. Okay, so you have your big old extrusion here, right? The big chunky boys. See these two rods? These are press fit into the extrusion themselves. And then your carriage, I think has 3 bearings in it. If I'm not mistaken. You got 1, 2, 3. So you got 3 bearings in there, and the bearings are offset. So you got 2 and then you got 1, and they kind of push against each other against those rods going vertically, and the bearings are curved. So you're riding on those rods on both sides. So it's actually a very robust setup. It's a lot of people are like, oh, it's not linear rails. No, this setup probably costs more than linear rails. Because let's be honest, China can get linear rails dirt cheap. But this setup looks pretty, it's pretty dang beefy setup, I will say. CAN the way to go? Makes it a lot simpler. What do you think about the titanium backers XY on a 2.4? I have titanium backers in the Trident, the 350 Trident. They work, but my LDO 300 V2 works without them. Your money may vary. I personally recommend run the printer stock without backers. If you find you don't have any issues with first layers, or like, you know, inconsistency throughout the print that may be backer related, backers may help, then don't bother with them. They don't, not every machine needs them. It's kind of like sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. It's more common to need them on the bigger machines, and you can easily add them after the machine is built. I did it on a stream. What's a backer? So what a backer is basically, you have to understand metals expand and contract and change under temperature differently than other metals. Okay, different metals react differently to temperature change. So what we're doing here is we're taking an aluminum extrusion and slapping a steel rail to it. Those expand differently under temperature changes. I'm pretty sure aluminum expands more. So what ends up happening is because they expand dissimilarly, they kind of cause the system to bow, okay? Because the metal doesn't want, the steel doesn't want to expand, the aluminum does, and it kind of does a bow. To counteract that, you put a backer on the side of the extrusion opposite your rail, either steel or titanium, and that basically allows, it makes a sandwich and it prevents this bowing from happening. It's something that is really cool when you see an FEA show it and it's like, wow, it's really doing it. And then you see the data and it's like, depending on the size, you might be getting like 0.1 millimeter over 400 millimeters length. It's some people it affects more than others. I've been running machines without them for years, no issue. I have a machine with it. It works just as fine, but I know some people, it made a massive difference in their machine. It's something that you may not need, you might need it. It really depends on how you built your machine, what materials you use, what rails, what extrusions, when they were made, what steels are made out of, your ambient humidity, what time of the year. Build without it, you might not need it, but if you want them, they're there. Yeah, Canada's been around for decades. Like, CAN bus is nothing new. It's new to 3D printing, but anytime something new to 3D printing happens, everyone freaks out, and then everyone who's been using it outside of 3D printing for decades is like, okay, and it's like input shaper. CNC machines have been using, you know, vibration compensation stuff for decades. Hey, we finally got it in 3D printing. Yay! I saw how Joel suckered you into Earth. I know. I still gotta make sure I can go. There's still Earth is still a maybe. What is the best way to diagnose a taco bed or gantry issues? A lot of first layer issues, even with a bed mesh. You could try rotating your bed, if possible. And if the issue is the exact same, it's a gantry issue, usually. A little bit of curling. Yeah, that's fine. You're printing fast. Like, curling happens when you print hot and fast in a big overhang like that. Like, yeah, there's support, but it's not like it's printing flat. And usually it gets knocked down by the time you're done. Have you had issues with input shaper removing, messing up details, or inaccuracies? If input shaper works by rounding corners. That's how it works. It does a bunch of other stuff, but if you're printing a square object, you turn input shaper on, that perfectly square corner is no longer a perfectly square corner. Now, we're splooging out molten plastic out of a nozzle. It's a glorified hot glue gun, so you might not notice it if you run a mild input shaper. However, the more aggressive input shaper you run, the more it rounds your corners. That's the trade-off. It's like on a normal printer. When you increase acceleration, you can print faster, but you start getting ghosting, okay? Input shaper allows you to counteract that ghosting, but if you push your input shaper too high, you start rounding corners. Nothing is a magic silver bullet that solves all your problems. It's just, what are you accepting, or what do you consider acceptable? Now, if you're printing, you know, big, nice, round cosplay stuff like this that, you know, a sharp corner doesn't really matter and you're going to be sanding in and painting in anyways, send that value. Send it. Get the prints done quick, right? Especially if you're doing mass production. But if you're trying to print, you know, geometrically accurate printer parts that need to fit together perfectly, well, you might not be able to push it that hard. It depends on your situation, what your use cases and what your needs are, what your machine is. Some machines can't be pushed as hard as others. It is what it is. So I've seen people go like, oh, input shaper rounds your corners, it's horrible. It's like, no, you're using it wrong. If you're rounding your corners to the point the part's unusable, you're doing it wrong. Okay? The tool is there. It's up to you how you use the tool. So usually, yeah, you know, you round your corners to the point where it doesn't matter anymore, or you're printing something where it doesn't matter, send it. If you need sharp corners, don't send it as hard and drop your accelerations a bit. There's always a trade-off. It's how you use it. That's why I only run like MZV input shaper and I don't crank my accels as high as some others do, because that's what my acceptable level is. There is a magic bullet. Money. Oh, yeah. you can always, you know, I could fill these extrusions up with sand and bolt my printer to a 12-inch reinforced concrete base. Because, you know, the more rigid your foundation is and the more stable your printer is, the higher input shaper. But remember, people are still running clapped out enders, so. No, don't turn input shaper off. Just don't run crazy high accels and a very aggressive input shaper. Like, I run MZV input shaper. I do the auto tune, and then whatever the auto tune spits out for my MZV values, I run that. And then for max accels on my Vorons, I usually run around 5 to 8,000. That's about it. And I drop accels for outer corners. So when I'm printing outer walls, I drop my accels down to like 2,000 or 3,000. So those corners come in a little bit sharper. It really depends on the hardware you're running and your current setup and what you're printing and what you consider acceptable. Showed sand didn't help. That's because the amount of sand you can put in an ender frame isn't enough to actually do anything. If you're doing like a CNC machine, go watch this old Tony when he built his router out of like big chunky steel tube like this, and he filled it with sand. In that use case, it does make sense to cut down on vibration, but you can't put enough sand in, you know, here's some 2040. You can't put enough sand in here to do a difference. If you filled it with lead shot, maybe, but you can't put enough sand in here to do much of a difference, if any. So it's not that sand, it's not that filling it with sand isn't effective. It's just at his scale, it's ineffective. If he were to, you know, melt down a bunch of tungsten and fill the extrusions with that, I'm sure it probably would have made a difference at that point. But that's still, Tony's still around. He still does it. A granite epoxy, that might be a thing. Like if you're doing a home CNC machine and you're building it out of extrusions, fill that thing up with the heaviest thing you can. Fill it with mercury. Ooh. Yeah, well, you got to remember, this old Tony, his YouTube channel wasn't like his job. He has a job, and the channel was kind of, I believe it was with his father-in-law who passed away, and that's why he kind of stopped for a bit there. But it's like just something he does on his own. Birdshot. Yeah, birdshot could work. Barrel, don't make CNC out of extrusions because they're more. The thing with extrusions, and this is where extrusions come in to King, Masumi makes some pretty chonky extrusions. I've looked it up. They make some really thick boy extrusions, and you can get them pre-cut and pre-drilled. So if you are trying to get into a CNC and you don't have the ability to, you know, you don't have a drill press, you don't have a welder, you don't have ability to cut steel, building it out of extrusions, while not maybe the most cost effective and not the best material, they are aluminum, allows you to do it without needing a whole workshop. So it depends on the scale and the size of the machine you're building. I'm pretty sure if you know, you went with the really chonky extrusions from Masumi and, you know, you designed the machine right, I'm pretty sure you could build a decent CNC machine without needing a tool shop, basically. But it depends on scale and tool head and what you're cutting, what you plan on cutting. It is what it is. Oh, I pushed the button. No, what I push? What I push? Come back to me. Chat, come back to me. Are we still there? Are we still there? Okay, we're still there. You can do an MP CNC. I think the MPC is kind of, I was tempted to do an MP CNC for a little bit there, but I think it needs like an update. I don't know. I think it's a little too flimsy, because here's the thing. If I was just doing wood, yeah, but I would want to do aluminum at the minimum. I would actually, what I really want to do, I need to actually, once I get the garage set up, hopefully by fall, I want to get those little 3018 based CNCs and like do a little work to the one that I got. I want to try a new Delrin, cut Delrin printer parts and see how that works out. And I'm pretty sure that those things could probably cut Delrin pretty well. What layer will bridging start? I don't know. Let's find out. Layer 123. And we are currently on... what layer are we on? Okay, so 111. So we're coming up. Jake England, 5. Cheers. Yeah, CNC machine out of extrusions can never work. Cough, cough, cough. Oh, I'm sure it could work. Like, yeah, look at Ivan Miranda or, you know, Millennium CNC. Or Millennium Mill. Ivan Miranda's been doing crazy stuff. Like, here's the thing, though. Ivan's using a router. So it's a really high RIPM. So you can get by with a weaker machine with higher RIPMs. That's just how it is. Or if you have a slower RIPM machine, you need a stronger machine. CNC is a whole nother beast in 3D printing. Okay, you design machines completely different for CNC. Like I ran Bridgeports. So those things weigh more than your car. Gonna CNC some VZ bots. I might just have them made for me. CM13 CNT and grab. Let me see here. Oh, that one's cute. Yeah. I seen this one a while ago, and I actually tried to get Banggood to send me one. This one you're not going to be able to do much because the volume is so dang small. It's only 182 bucks. Jeez, that's Canadian. But you only got 13 by 100 or something. It's not a big volume, but it's metal. Yeah. But yeah, if you want to do, you could probably do some actually pretty decent work. It's small. PCBs. Yeah, PCB. The problem with PCBs, JLC PCB is dirt cheap and weak. Like, where's the CNC I got? I know we had to cannibalize the one for parts. Because the spindle that came with this one didn't work. Where is it? Oh my god, here it is. Okay, so sorry, Super Racer, you're going back to storage duties. You can hold all these parts. That goes there, that goes there. Hopefully you guys can still hear me and I'm not just talking to myself. That would be cool if I wasn't talking to myself. It helps at times to, pass away the boredom when I'm down here, but I normally like to not talk to myself. Here, come on. There we go. I don't know where the power supply for this is. We'll get it figured out. There we go. So yeah, so I have this. Oh. So we have this, which is all metal. So once I get the garage set up, I'm going to start playing with this and actually learning CNC. Unfortunately, the spindle mount is plastic. But I do want to see how this cuts Delrin. Because cutting aluminum might be unfeasible, but Delrin is a plastic. And it's pretty good plastic. So if you want to machine printer parts out of Delrin, that might work. There you go. You stay there. I got too many things in that room. The spare storage and bedroom in the basement is now printer room again. You're talking to yourself. Yep, I'm always talking to myself. As far as I know, like everyone in here is a bot. So, what do you think of the Sherling CNC hobby mills? No idea. Whoa. Why did I open up side by side? I didn't hit the button. No idea. Let me look them up. If I can find your chat so I can copy it. Sherling CNC hobby mill. DeWitt, gotta make you a t-shirt. What size? 5. Cheers. Large. Normal North American large. Sherling products. Home. Okay. When you go to a website and it doesn't actually show you the products, you know they're going to be expensive for one. Can you make boron parts out of... Oh, it's bridging. It's bridging! It's bridging! Get the camera up here. No, see, here's the problem. It's bridging, and somebody told me that it can't bridge. So somebody was telling me that it's not doing this. You know, we see it's doing this, and somebody said it can't do this, but it do be do. It do be do what it do. That's some mighty fine bridging there. Shirling CNC. Oh, these guys. Okay, I think I've seen these before. Yeah, let me pull one up here. Press a printer for stock bridging. Here's the thing, like, what is a stock printer? A Prusa Mark III is a stock printer. A Bamboo is a stock printer. This is a stock printer. Stock printers have gotten pretty good. This isn't a clap down ender. Like, this is... You have to, I think stock printer needs to be rephrased to budget cheap V-wheel bed slinger clone. Because a stock printer you can get nowadays is pretty good. $18-inch next-gen CNC mill package. So at least they're NEMA 23. Yeah, they're $4,000 though. Which you could probably bomb build this for bomb cost for much less than that. Yeah, nope. Looks cool, but nope. Ender 3 is highly offended. You can bridge on any machine, let's be honest. It might not always work out. So what do you consider acceptable? That is the question. Printing 100% infill? No, it's like 3 or 5% infill. And the only reason I'm printing with infill is so I don't accidentally crush it. And because it prints infill fast and I want to show the speed of the printer. The Ghost Gunner 3 costs half that. Yeah, but the Ghost Gunner it only does ARs, if I'm not mistaken. I'm pretty sure you could use it, but the way the machine is set up is only for AR lowers, if I'm not mistaken. So it's a pretty specific use case. Delrin is Palm. Yeah, Acetal, their brand name. Delrin is a brand name, I believe. AKs now too. Why would you machine an AK receiver when you could just bend a shovel? Delrin is acetal or acetal. Is it acetal or acetal? I don't know. The problem is I've tried to buy Delrin. I gotta figure out where to buy it. I've looked it up on Amazon and I can't get the size I want. And it's way pricey on Amazon. I tried buying like sheets of it. Yeah, actually, yeah, a 3/4 inch. Ooh. So a black 3/4 inch 6x12 sheet is like $50. Machines here, Shirling, get the job done. Millenniums are going to be more rigid and be filled with epoxy, even more rigid. Well, that will be fun when I get to building one. I missed a super chat. Oh no, I missed a super chat. Where? The DeWitt make you a t-shirt? Yeah, I said a large. Yeah, I already talked to him. And Jake England. Yeah, I mentioned those. And the David, cheers for the 5. I said that one. I didn't miss any. Tap Plastic. I live in Canada. Tap Plastic is America. Ghost. What super chat? Oh, Jake England. Oh, I am the dude behind Millennium. Oh, Jake, I know that, Jake. I know that. You're in my DMs. There we go. Fast printer, go fast. Let's move it back a little bit. McMaster has it. Yeah, and I know I can do McMaster and Granger because I have a company, but I mean I am the company, but Granger had it. This is the downside of not working in a tool shop anymore. I can't just kind of borrow stuff. Oh, here we go. I can get a 12 by 24 inch sheet of Delrin that's 2 inches thick for $600 from Granger. There we go. Yeah. 24 by 48 for 3/4 inch thick, $749. Yeah. Only comes in white though. You want to get it in black. New to this channel, what are we printing? We are printing a Starship because we want to print something that will max out the Z on this printer. So there's some speed. Try looking up PTFE sheets. My wallet's already crying and I haven't paid for anything yet, so. Did I put out a tweet saying it was live? I can't remember if I put out a tweet saying if I was live. Yeah, I did. Okay, cool. I always forget to do that. Or I always forget that I forget to do it, and then I do it. Yeah. Did FL said? Yep, no. Like the printer config. So there is a version of Cura on the SD or USB stick that comes with this printer. It's version 4.13, I think. Point something. That version of Cura that is on this stick, when you install it, has the V400 as a selectable printer, and it has a config for it. So it has a config for it. So if you're wondering what the config is, the default config for this printer, here it is right here. So I will slowly scroll through it, but there's the speeds and feeds. You can pause it if you want to take notes. And we have some other settings that I've turned on just for this model, which is a Starship. Because, yeah, why not? Put me back in my corner. Cura free? Yeah, Cura's free. HDPE. Yeah, you can do HDPE too. How does the noise level? Oh, this is much quieter. The Bamboo is the loudest printer I own. But it's that loud because it's fast. Any fast Core XY pushing the speeds and accels that this thing is pushing in an aluminum enclosure will be that loud. It is what it is. Machines make noise when they go fast, and this machine goes fast. This isn't enclosed. It doesn't have, you know, got aluminum panels. They resonate. It is what it is. And I don't know what drivers they're using because they're not using TMCs. They're not loud drivers, but they're not TMC quiet drivers. So this machine makes noise. It is what it is. This is about as loud as my Borons. It's unenclosed though, so it's open air. Machines go burr when they go burr. Exactly. Can you print that nylon call? Hey, can you print nylon in that black aluminum? What? Can you print in the nylon called black aluminum? What? Can you print nylon? Hey, can you print in that nylon called black aluminum? What? Favorite slicer? Super slicer. So the Delta is best for what material? Well, any material that's not abrasive, because it doesn't have an abrasive nozzle, and you can print open air. There's open air, so not enclosed. Nylon X. Ew! If it's abrasive, you can't print it on this machine. And normal nylon, you want to print enclosed anyways. So, what do you think of Prusa Slicer switching to Arachne slicing algorithm? Joe's first time setting up, getting something Cura. If it's better, it's better. It's open source, so as long as you give credit, whatever. I really, like, don't go, oh my god, they stole something from Cura, or they're using something from Cura in an open source license, and they're properly attributing it. Oh no! But, if it's better, it's better. I'm all for stuff being better. I haven't played with it yet, though. CF25 stuff, black aluminum. Oh, never heard that term. So it's not a replacement for aluminum. It may have similar mechanical properties, but aluminum is aluminum. Can a thin layer of foam or plastic dip? Probably not. I don't think it's a big issue. Honestly, it's more the motors whining that make the noise. These were shirts that somebody on the team had made specifically for Murph, for the team members that were going. These aren't like a commercial shirt. Like somebody went to a vendor and got them specifically made for. And I don't sell any Voron merch on my store because it's my store. Wish they borrowed tree supports. Well, here's the funny thing. We're going on a little tangent here. Bamboo Slicer here. Okay, or the Bamboo app. So the Bamboo app, and then their slicer is part of the app. I'm gonna move myself on. All right, there I am. So the Bamboo app has their slicer built in, and also their connection to the printer. So you can't connect to it through web UI. I wish you could, but you can't. So the funny thing is, the slicer is Prusa Slicer. Okay, it's forked from Prusa Slicer. Yes, I know they're supposed to release the files. I know. Don't really have any control over it, but they say they will, hopefully after release. You know, they've already distributed binaries, as I've been educated on. But anyways, long story short, this is Prusa Slicer with, you know, bamboo stuff on top. But the funny thing is, under support, they have tree supports. So they take a while to calculate, but the Bamboo Slicer is Prusa Slicer, but they have tree supports, which Prusa Slicer does not. Stevie Shao, hello, 20, cheers. Hello, Nero. Someone directed me here from Joel Tillings. Cool. That was a fun stream. I recently got a Cobra Max and someone just put Clipper on it. My question is, if Clipper isn't, how will the Clipper former affect the auto leveling sensor? You would basically have to reset it up. So Clipper has automatic bed leveling and all that, ABL. All these machines have it, or not the Bamboo, that's not right Clipper, but all my Voron machines have some sort of bed leveling. So you would just have to set it up new. Now what you would do is, I have a video on how to install Clipper on like any machine. It's like a series of videos, but long story short, take a look and see if somebody already has a profile made for your printer or configuration for your printer, that specific printer that already has bed leveling part of it. But in Clipper, you would have to set up bed leveling using the probe. It's not super hard. I'm not going to go in. I don't have that machine, so I can't like show you how to do it. But you can set up bed leveling in Clipper, and there's all kinds of options for the way it goes about it. How about shrub support? Shrub supports. Yeah, so there you go. Tree. Like, they're not the most graceful. I don't know. I don't use tree supports that often because I don't use Cura. But yeah, Bamboo Slicer has tree supports. I don't know. I prefer Clipper over Marlin. I haven't played with Marlin in before my son was born, and he starts school in September. That was the last time I played with Marlin. In terms of me actually installing Marlin. Like, I've got a Prusa, and you know, I got some commercial machines running Marlin, but I haven't compiled Marlin or actually played with Marlin since before my son was born. And he starts school in September. So, but I build my own machines mostly. Like the machines that I would be installing firmware on, I build them myself, and I install Clipper because that's my go-to. So don't forget, what time is it? It's 4:15. We might go to 5. I don't know. After 4:30, if I feel like it in the stream, we will. So if you have not entered for your draw to win some filament from Polymaker, do this now. Link is in the description. We're gonna draw at the end of the stream, and somebody's gonna get a free spool. Are you printing perimeters first or last? Last, usually. Infill then perimeters. The wings are suffering a little bit, you can see. But I'm gonna say this filament is not the greatest filament. I printed some stuff on the Prusa with this filament that came with it, and it wasn't that great filament. Kind of inconsistent. Here, how's the print quality on the Delta? It looks okay. So here's the thing. Direct overhead lighting, which this is doing with a bank of LEDs, makes any print look like poop. Okay. This came off the Delta with the exact same print settings. Okay. So if you're wondering how it prints, the exact same slicer profile printed this in 21 hours. So, it prints pretty good. But this is gray filament. Gray and black filaments are horrible for direct overhead lighting. And it's a vertical surface, so any minor imperfection showed up is made to look much worse. Can you recommend a Voron for a first builder with an air filter? You can put a Nevermore, which is like a community developed add-on. It's basically like a built-in charcoal filter on pretty much any Voron. Yeah, so you can, any Voron can have a filter. Where's the castle? Just search Fantasy Castle on like printables or Thingiverse. This is an old design. This is an old model. It's been around for years. Yeah, this is not Prusament. This is like whatever Prusa came with like years ago, I guess. It's not their Prusament. I wish it was Prusament. But here, let me turn the light off. LED off. So yeah, you can still see a little deformation on the wings there, but notice how like the front here looks much smoother. And don't get me wrong, I got tons of light. There's studio lights on in this room right now, so there's plenty of lighting. But the moment you turn on overhead lighting, every little imperfection is just magnified. See what I mean? Because it's directly vertical to the print surface, or like perpendicular to it. It always makes it look bad. This actually came out really. This is probably the best Fantasy Castle I've printed so far. Especially for the speed. Also, this filament just makes it look so good because it actually more than just one generic color. Like, I mean, if you're showing off a printer, you just print carbon fiber or something, or you print marble filament. It hides all defects and makes every print look amazing. So. Better Core XY or Delta? It depends on what you're trying to do. I personally I prefer Deltas, or correction, I prefer Core XYs over Deltas. Deltas, you get some pretty good space efficiency on the XY. But the Z is just, it's a meter tall printer for 400Z. Tall boy down here is 380 on the Z, and so let's see here. So tall boy, which is my V2 that has 300 and I think it's 380 millimeters of Z, is 27 inches tall. And so if tall boy had the same print volume, it would come up to here roughly on this machine. So for the same Z, tall boy comes to here, the FL Sun comes to there, and then you got a spool holder on top. So deltas are not great space efficient on the Z. Also, you got a circular print surface, but they look really cool and they move really fast. The 3 motors working in unison allows you to print very fast. Your bed is fixed, so your bed doesn't move at all. So if you want to print a lot of tall spindly things, a Delta is probably really good for that because you're not flapping the bed around. Stuff's not wobbling. compared to a commercial like I'm comparing this machine to commercial machines, right? So the Z is very secure, it's very stiff. You get more volume than the bamboo. You got to look at what you're going to be using your printer for, really. My VZ bot is 400Z and 730 millimeters tall. Jesus, that's actually not bad, because this is 930 millimeters tall. It's almost a meter. Also, this isn't enclosed. These are harder to enclose. The Delta bed slinger. Oh, there's there is a Delta bed slinger. Bornady was working on one. Can't remember what it's called. Yeah, 960 millimeters. Okay, there you go. I know it's almost a meter. I know that. Which printer is to the left of the bamboo? That's my Voron V2.4. Dash, I don't know, a bunch of different variants of the V2. It's V2 number 26. All these printers are Vorons, except for the bamboo and the Delta and the bonsai down here and some resin stuff over here. Did I see teaching tech's belt Delta? Not really. I don't watch a lot of teaching tech videos. Guy really likes Voron. I kind of am on the Voron team, so that was like before I became a YouTuber. Minion. I got a Minion. It's in the other room just because I'm not printing with it right now. Here's the thing. My normal go-to printing material is ABS. I print ABS and ASA a lot. That's my normal go-to material. So I print that on my enclosed machines, which are all Vorons. Stuff that isn't enclosed, I print in PLA, sometimes PETG, but I print those on usually the machine I'm testing at the moment, because I don't print that stuff as part of my normal printing routine. So right now I'm testing the bamboo, and I'll be testing this for a bit. So that's what I'm going to be printing PLA on. So while I got a V Minion, it's a very solid machine, it's not enclosed. So it's not going to be used a lot right now. So I put it in the other room. I bet Voron pays me their entire budget on marketing, goes directly to me, for those that don't know. So the entire Voron marketing budget goes directly to me. I could pull up the spreadsheet here to show you exactly how much it is, full disclosure. But here is the actual Voron marketing budget that goes to me. As you can see here, let me increase the font so you can actually view it properly. There we go. So that's how much of the entire Voron marketing budget gets directed to me. Just full disclosure, right? It's best to be honest. Built by Ross. 5. Cheers. What is a good Core XY printer to get? My Ender 3 V2 is a POS. It's a point of sale machine. Are you looking to buy or build? That's a big difference. Are you looking to buy a machine and unbox it and put it together and print, or are you looking to build one from scratch? There's a big. I need more information to give you an answer. If you're gonna build, well, maybe a Voron. I don't have Excel on this computer. I don't have anything on this computer. I keep this computer pretty sanitized. Yeah, Sanity's pay. Sanity's now a member of the crew on the Voron team. So her pay quadrupled. From 0, it quadrupled. Actually, I think it went up 8-fold from 0. So, am I using draft shields? No, all the Cosplay parts are printed on enclosed machines. So like these machines right here, these three, the bamboo and the two Vorons, LDO V2, the LDO V2 is down a little bit, needs some maintenance. But I print them without a draft shield because they're enclosed. They don't need a draft shield. I do print with a brim though, just for a little bit added security because these are multi half-day prints basically. So this is a 9-hour print. And this one will be done at 9 o'clock tonight, and I started it earlier today. So I'd rather them not warp, so I just put a brim on it. It's all gonna be sanded and painted anyways. Emmanuel. I think I'm not gonna try Emmanuel. I think so. I'm not gonna try and pronounce your last name though. 79. Cheers. G'day. Nero and everyone came like the smash button and off to work. Have fun at work. We will have a nice stream though. That's a clicky holding up. Clicky's holding up fine. Do you have a chamber thermistor? What do you print ABS at for chamber temps? I don't have a chamber thermistor. I know the LDO V2, I have a temperature sensor in the tool head. But I don't have a chamber thermistor. I normally just close the printer, set the bed to 110 and print. So the LDO says, I think I get 60 in that chamber. 50 or 60. Usually they set around 50 or 60, depending on the size of the machine. Do you keep ventilation stuff going on the Voron's printing ABS, or do you seal? I seal completely. So all these machines are sealed right up. They got one-sided foam gasket on all the panels. Can I open any of these? I have to fiddle with that. So they got foam gasket all the way around the panels, and all like the holes in the back and everything I seal up with aluminum tape. So everything stays inside. I hotbox my printers. And then what I do is in this room, the door stays closed all the time. I actually have that same foam along the top of the door to like seal it even a little bit better. And I close the vent. Right now I have the vent open because it's bloody hot in this room. But normally this vent is closed so that everything stays in this room and there's no air conditioning to this room. And it works really good. What else? Don't I have heat sensors? Only the ones that are running toolhead boards. And I only run toolhead boards on the LDO V2, the switch wire, but the switch wire is open air, so it don't matter. And I think that's it. Every other toolhead. Oh, maybe the Micron. No, not the Micron. No, that's it. Everything else, I don't use toolhead boards. What's your opinion about Rat Rig V-Core 3? I don't have one yet. When I build one, I'll let you know. It scales better to the bigger sizes than a Voron. Vorons were not meant... The V2 is designed around a 250 print volume. It's not designed to be a big printer. So it's designed not to be a big printer. The V-Core, though, I think scales up to 500 stock. So it's got 9mm XY belt, so it scales better to the bigger sizes. Tough Tech Prints, 50 sec. Cheers. I don't like the Minion. The Minion's fine. Any mods? So I do have some mods on my V Minion. I have the electronic box and power supply mounted directly to it. If you watch my video on the V Minion on this channel, I think it's actually the pin video. I go over what mods I did. Is there any way to prevent sag? There is a board that you could buy that you wire in line with your motors, that when the power is killed, what it does is it basically inverts your wires. It crosses the wires essentially so that it locks the motors in place. In terms of gantry sag, that's usually not an issue though, because even with the motors off, the back of the gantry only drops a couple steps, like less than like 0.5 millimeter usually. It's just a couple steps. And then on power up before you print anyways, you're going to do a quad gantry level anyway, so it'll take care of it, and then the motors don't power off again until you power off the printer, so they stay locked together. So they do drop, but it's not really an issue. It's not like the gantry is going to fall. Like, power's off on that machine, the gantry ain't moving. I heard Rat Rig is not designed, can't print ABS. It's not enclosed from the factory. You have to enclose it first, which I believe with the V-Core 3.1, I think they addressed that. I have to pull it up. I haven't actually looked at it. V-Core 3. Yeah, so basically you just need panels and a top hat. So the thing is with these, because they use these like corner braces, they're a little bit harder to enclose. You have to like cut the panels better. Yeah, you just enclose it, it'll print ABS. Like any printer can print. You got an all metal hot end and you got a cardboard box, you can print ABS. It ain't hard. Built by Ross 5. Cheers. Looking to buy a Core XY, will eventually build a Voron. Have fun with that. They're fun builds. Yeah, you just got to enclose it. Like, remember, my how to print ABS series is literally my spare parts bonsai. Like, I did a whole series on how to print ABS using this clapped together piece of shit and a cardboard box, and it prints ABS beautifully. You just need to enclose it. That's it. And this printer actually works really good for the fact that it's built out of completely spare parts and cheap AliExpress stuff. MN Laser Cutting 5. Cheers. Do we do an extrusion based top hat for V02 or printed top hat? On your personal machine? Whatever you think looks cooler. Printed is cheaper and easier. You know, less stuff to source. That one. I have a V-Core 3 and 2 Voron V2s, and I feel the Voron is the better printer for whatever it's worth. Yeah, here's the thing. All those machines, you built yourself. So I've seen Vorons built beautifully that print amazingly, and I've seen Vorons wired up with wiring ripped out of the house walls that were not built well, that don't print good. That's not really the printer's fault. All these machines are self-built, because I don't think you can buy assembled V-Cores either. So a lot of how well these printers print comes down to the person that built it. And I've seen some very shoddy printer builds over there, not just Voron. Anyone who's been around on, like, you know, our 3D printing has seen some sketchy shit. What Excels are we running on the Delta? It is firmware limited right now to 8K Excels. We can easily change that though, because it's Clipper. But it's 8K Excel limited. Infill and travels are 8K. And all walls are 5K Excel. Got my hands on some cheap Amazon Fire tablets. Makes for a good Clipper screen. Yeah, there you go. I know a lot of people use that. Or an old phone. Heck. If you want to be technical, you can even use like a TV for Clipper screen. You just don't get the touchscreen part unless you have a touchscreen TV, which, go for it. Anything that's touchscreen and a display, you can use for Clipper screen pretty much. When running ABS, you need tool head cooling. So it depends what you're printing. Right now, for all these parts I'm printing for my Mandalorian armor, I have part cooling off, and I'm printing hotter than normal, and I'm over extruding because I want these parts to be dummy strong, because I'm going to be wearing them, I'm going to be sanding them, I don't want them to break, and they're kind of big, right? And a lot of them are actually pretty thin. So I want these parts to be strong. So I'm printing them hot and heavy, basically. But for like printer parts, you know, for like Vorons and whatnot, you want them strong, but the parts are smaller, so it's not as big of a deal. But I usually run a enclosed, and only do this if you have an enclosed printer. So if you got ambient chamber temperatures of 50 plus, you can do this pretty much, maybe 45 plus. Hotter the better. Try it. If it don't work, don't do it. Run like a 15 to 20% part fan. It actually helps a lot with overhangs and small details. It makes them look very crisp. Because you're blowing hot air. That's the thing, right? Don't be doing bird air or something like that where you're taking outside air. But if you're just blowing hot air from inside the chamber onto the print, it helps a lot with overhangs. Makes them look really clean. For those in Canada, Superstore was clearing out Fire 7 2019 tablets for $40. That ain't bad. Yeah, that ain't bad at all. Yeah, I'm really happy with this printer. I'm actually going to be heading out to Michael's to go get some corrugated plastic so I can enclose this, so I can actually put it to proper use and print some ABS with it. What's my favorite feature on the Bamboo? I really like their AMS implementation. Now, apparently the AMS that I have is the outdated one. They've changed the design. They're sending me a new one because this one's outdated and they've changed a bunch of stuff. So if you're getting the production one, you'll have the new one. This is the old one. I haven't had any issues with it, but apparently there's a better one. So when that shows up, we'll play with that on stream. But honestly, their multi-material implementation, while it is a little wasteful and it is a little slow, in my experience so far, has been pretty much 100% reliable. Like, I can't complain. So that's actually my favorite thing about the Bamboo. As terms of some, you know, I have enclosed Core XY printers already. So that's the part I really like about it. I'll have 2 AMSs, but unfortunately I can't print 8 colors because I don't have the hub, because you need a hub, which I don't think they're sending. Yeah, no, you can't daisy chain them. You need a hub they plug into. So each AMS plugs into the hub, and you can plug 4 AMSs into the hub, which plugs into the printer. So I'm hoping the new one takes bigger spools, because this one's kind of limited, unfortunately. Like, I was gonna put in where was it? Where did I put it? I had this right here. I was gonna put this in. It's so this is just a normal spool. This is Filament PM, made in CZ. Thank you, Sanity. But this is some PC ABS. I was gonna throw it in here. Yeah, no fit. Just, this spool don't fit. Just too fat. Is what it is. So. Will the Excel settings in the slicer matter for how you print looks? Yes. So how you really want to set it up? You have your firmware. You have a maximum print setting. So let's pull it up here. So on this machine, under the printer, CFG, down here to, I don't like how they have it laid out. I might move some of this around because it's not how I would lay it out. I've got a way of making my own configs, but you go to the printer section here, you got kinematics delta, your max velocity. So this thing is limited to 400 millimeters a second, 8K accel, 5K decel. So it speeds up to speed at 8,000 acceleration maximum, and it'll drop down to 0 at 5,000. You usually want your accel to decel to be a little bit lower than your max accel. And then your square corner velocity and your Z velocity, which is a delta, you want your Z velocity. So that's the default value. But what you do is you go into your slicer, okay? And most slicers allow you to have specific acceleration values for different details. So how you print fast and still get good quality, things that don't matter, you send it. Travel moves. You move your printer as fast as you can move your printer without it skipping steps reliably, okay? If it skips 1 step out of every 100, it's not reliable. So move your printer for travel moves as fast as you can go. Infill, max out your hot end. Go as fast as you can with your hot end that's still reliably extrude plastic, okay? Over extrude your infill too. Printing with 0.4 millimeter nozzle, set your extruder width for like 0.7. Send it. Over extrude your infill and print your infill very fast as you can go. Because it's infill, it don't matter how it looks. It's infill, it's inside the part. Inner walls, don't quite go as fast, but you still want to go fast. Outer walls, there you drop your speed down, you drop your accel down, get that nice finish on the surface. So everything else that don't matter, just send it. Stuff that doesn't matter as much, kind of send it, but be a little conservative. And then the only wall that you see, the outer wall, you kind of rein it back a bit. You get that nice smooth finish, you make it look good, and then you're good. That's usually how you make a profile that goes fast, but it's actually still a good profile. Yeet. Yes, as the kids would say, you yeet that. Yes, yeet inside the plastic. Do not eat outside the plastic. I'm gonna have to do some sanding on that part. What are those shadows on the fin under extruded? The inconsistency, it looks like. Full disclosure, this filament is not great. This is whatever spool of filament that came with my Prusa Mark III. It's not Prusament. I did a few prints with it and I shelved it because I don't like this filament. It doesn't extrude consistently. The only reason I grabbed it is, one, I forgot that it does that until I already loaded it. And two, it's the only silver I have a full spool of. Oh, wait, no. Oh, no, that silver's too light. We're printing a spaceship. I wanted to print it in silver. So, it's crappy filament, put it that way. So, it's making it look worse than it is, honestly. And yes, direct overhead lighting. If I turn the direct overhead lighting off, it doesn't look as bad. Because the Prusa that Mark III that I built was boxed up before they were including Prusament. Should have printed a red rocket. No, we're not going to go there. That's the one word that bugs me. Oh, come on, 3D printed professor. I'm hip. I'm with it. I speak what the cool kids say. YOLO. You know, I think YOLO is like a decade old at this point. That's so fetch. Wider extrusions on infill makes the infill layer sparser though, so less support for the top layers. Yes, but that's the trick. If you are printing a low infill model, I personally like gyroid because you get a lot of like surface area to like lay stuff down on. But if you're printing high infill, like, you know, printer parts at like 40% infill, you want to over extrude your infill because your infill is going to be thicker and there's going to be less lines. So you're still getting the same percentage, because when you put a percentage for infill, it's a percentage of the volume of that XY plane. So when your extrusion width is wider, it has to do less lines to get to whatever percent of infill you want. So when you're doing like 40% infill on parts and you're over extruding your infill by like double, so if you got like a 0.4 nozzle and you're extruding at 0.8, it is blowing that plastic in there. So your walls for your infill are going to be thicker. But that also means you have to do half as many lines to get the same percentage of infill, which when you're doing high infill parts, doesn't really make that much of a difference because the walls are going to be stronger. The infill lines themselves will be stronger. So while you won't have less of them, the lines themselves will be stronger. But it saves you a ton of time because you're doing half as many moves. That's one of the tricks to print boron parts fast. Over extrude your infill by like double almost. Max out your tool head. Max out whatever your hot end can do. And then also, the advantage is if you're maxing out your hot end, if you're at the limits and you happen to under extrude a bit of infill, you're under extruding 0.8 infill at 0.6 with a 0.4 nozzle. So your infill's still extruding okay. I was hip, I was with it, then they changed what it was. And what I was it wasn't it anymore. And what's it is strange and scary to me now. And it'll happen to you. That Simpson episode is older than people that I work with who have kids. Good idea for strong parts, maybe thin lines for minimal infill. If you're doing, well, it's percentage. It's straight up percentage. You could probably save a little bit of plastic, but if you just want more infill, just up the percentage. Old man shakes fist at kites. Isn't it old man shakes fist at sky? Old man yells at clouds. That's what it is. Yeah, the low infill percentage, I don't know. It's not like the infill needs to support anything with those fins. But maybe. I don't know. If the infill was, you know, not cubic and was actually consistently in the same Z plane, maybe. Can't get enough lines to support the top infill. Well, here, I'll show you 1 second. Printers, V226. Yeah, this is printing. Oh, let me move out of here. I don't know why the webcam's so slow. This is 5% infill. Iroid. And that'll fill in just fine. Yeah. This was 5% infill. The top filled in fine. Actually, I gotta fix that. Good enough. I love how I had a layer shift on the very last layer. Part popped off the bed right at the very last layer. Cubic. Cubic. No, I like gyroid because it does the wavies. And I find that you get, if you're like, gyroid, I find if you're printing like a low density model, you have a very good chance of like random details landing on a top layer with, or supporting better on gyroid because it's not straight in the XY plane. Because if it's like straight in the XY plane, like grid, there's huge sections where you have no support, where gyroid, because it's wavy, you have a little bit better chance. I don't know. That's kind of my thing. Gyroid, if I'm doing low percent infill, so 20% and lower, I do gyroid. If I'm doing heavy infill, I usually do cubic. Aligned rectangular at lower percentages is a lot better for infill coverage than other. Let me pull that up. I just want to check. So what is it? Aligned rectangular. Infill. Adaptive. Scattered rectangular. Rectangular. I don't see aligned rectangular. I'm looking in Super Slicer here. I'm allowed to show it on you. Show what on YouTube? But gyroid, is it gyroid or gyroid? Super Slicer. Why can't I show? I'm using Super Slicer. I use all of them, honestly. Cura is my go-to for off-the-shelf machines. Commercial machines off the shelf, I usually just use Cura. I find they usually have the best default profiles. For my Prusas, I use Prusa Slicer, and for my Vorons, I use Super Slicer. Do you pronounce the G in GIF? No, I say GIF. Guys, English is the worst language when it comes to pronunciation. 222, tomorrow. Like weather. Like, English is horrible for pronunciation. Everyone's gonna say stuff a little bit differently. Garage. Don't bother trying to educate somebody in English about pronunciation, because somebody will just pronounce it a different way. English is the worst language for pronunciation. And I pronounce gyroid like gyro, same G. Cosplay. Apparently it's I say what I don't even know how I said it. Cosplay. I don't know. Gyroid. Is it gyroid? Did I say it like gyro, which is apparently gyro? I don't know. Eats, shoots, and leaves versus eats, shoots, and leaves. Exactly. English is horrible. But you got 10 minutes to win some filament. Euro. It's Euro? I don't know. You guys are all weird with your pronunciations. English is horrible. English is horrible. Gyroscope. Yeah, gyro. Gyroscope. Gyroscope. After the stream, I'm gonna get a drink. I'm gonna get some jalapeno chips, and I'll be good. Like, yeah, jalapeno. What? I draw the line at pineapple pizza. Yeah, jalapeno. I don't know. See, the funny thing is, you don't know if I'm being truthful about any of this or I'm just messing with you the whole time. Like how I switch between Z and Z and aluminum and aluminium constantly throughout streams. What is the real Nero? It's pronounced Nero. Like, je ne parle même pas anglais. Like, je peux parler juste français. Je ne comprends pas anglais. Tout temps est perdu. Incroyable. Oh, c'est bien. C'est bon. Très bon. Allez voir. How do I change back to English? Allez voir. Yeah, mon français n'est pas très bien. Je parle juste un petit peu de français. Pas beaucoup. Oui, oui. Omelette du fromage. Mais c'est oh, la promotion est omelette au fromage. N'est pas omelette du fromage, c'est omelette au fromage. C'est le français en toi. Oui. Ah. Beaucoup d'amusement. Okay, that's enough French. That's probably the most French I've spoken in a while. So here's the thing. I went to a French school, a French immersion school until grade 6. And then we moved and it wasn't available and I was put into regular English school. And I can understand French pretty well. I can read French just fine. The problem is it's been so long that I fluently spoke it. I actually just forget what a lot of the words are. Like I have to like, oh shoot, okay, what's this word in French? And then like, oh, okay, that's it. So I forget what a lot of the words in French are, but I can read it and pretty much understand it okay. I can read it better than I can understand it, like verbally, because I have to go wait shit. So. Oh, and somebody's going on with Moonspeak in chat. Yeah, I can't speak Moonspeak. So yeah. But by the way, you have 4 minutes to enter the draw for some Polymaker filament, because then we're going to end the stream. we're gonna let this finish. I'll post a picture of this on my Twitter when it's done at 3DP Nero. We're at 44% done. Because pretty much once these fins are done, it's just gonna go whoop. So get a French girlfriend and all that will come back. Unfortunately, I don't think my wife would approve of that. No, there's no support over the top of the fins. The top fins come out directly on an angle. The bottom fins come out flat for a bit and then on an angle. So I'm hoping the top fins aren't too bad. Or if they're bad, we can always fix it with our friend the X-Acto knife. So. Ludwig, I don't know what you said, but YouTube thinks that's naughty, so I don't know what you said. What's everyone going on about stroopwafel? I like how many 3D printing channels. So you want to see something funny for the Germans out there? Let me pull up a statistic here. What's up? Analytics. Audience. Let me pull it up here. See more. So I don't think this shows anything that yeah, okay. So in terms of viewership on my channel, Americans make up 32% of my audience. The next biggest country is Germany with 9.2%, and then the Brits, and then the Canadians. So there's a lot of Yanks here, but after that it is the Germans, which, considering how much I screw things up and how inefficient I run these streams, I'm surprised you guys are here. 3D printing for Germans like being a furry. They all do it. What is Yip in German? I closed the window. Basically, it's like 30%, 9%, 5, 5, 3, 4, and then it's down like 1 and 2% after that. YouTube breaks it out by country, not by language. Because Germans speak Deutsch. You know, they call their country Deutschland, because what English people call countries isn't always what countries call countries. Which you would have think, like, you know, we would just call Deutschland, Deutschland. But no, we made up our own word for it. Germany. Japan is Nippon or something like that in Japanese? I don't know. That makes no sense. Why would you make up a name for a country? Like, just call the country what the country's called. Hi, I'm Bob. Cool. You shall now be Frank. That is how I will call you. But I call myself Bob. Nope, we're going to call you Frank. No. Nippon. I don't know. Ralph, thank you for coming, remember. Tell a German how you pronounce Knipex. It's Knipex. Knipex. No more purge block, unless you're using different colors with the same nozzle. You still have to purge at the beginning of the print, I believe. Or you would have to purge unless you always use the same... So on the swapper there, it's like you never have to purge. But you would always have to use the same nozzle with the same filament, always, or you will have to purge. So if... What happens is you would have to pre-purge. So if you were starting a print and all 25 nozzles on the carousel, if you bought all 25, which would probably be a little pricey, so let's be honest, you probably only have 5 or 6. If you're using a new filament, you would have to pre-purge with each nozzle with the color you're using for that specific print before you go into the print. So you're still going to have to purge, it's just not going to be a continuous purge. And you still may want to run a prime tower to make sure the nozzle is flush with filament, because even though you pull the nozzle out, If the residual heat, you might have a little bit of oozing. So when you put new filament in there, if it doesn't line up, there might be a little bit where you under extrude before you fully extrude. So you may still want to run a prime tower with it. If I put a filament on a drawer or shelf, I don't know. I've got some on the floor right now, actually. I put it wherever I have room. How are they managing temps? You let it nothing. You're not. The nozzle sits in a metal enclosure on a metal rack. And then when you put it back in, you got to wait for it to heat back up again. Giveaway time. Giveaway time. Let's do a giveaway time because I got to go pick up my kid at daycare. So if you have not entered, you got like 5 seconds. But basically every stream, at the end of the stream, we do a giveaway for some Polymaker filament. Polymaker makes good printer chow. So we get to give away some every stream. So if you didn't enter today, make sure you do tomorrow. What do we got? 654 people. So while this is loading up and I'm copying everything over, what the hell are we going to do on tomorrow's stream? I have no idea. We'll figure something out. Because I got to figure out where to put this. I got to put this somewhere. If I want to work on something, I need the desk, but we'll see. We'll figure something out. SV04. No, the SV04 is going to be next week. Next Friday. The 3D Chameleon is going to be next Saturday. Because I got to get some stuff from Bill to make sure I'm doing it right, and I need to print some files still. So get Tallboy. Tallboy's perfectly functional. He's just sitting on the ground because I haven't used him this year. No, Tallboy's fine. I just got to plug him in and give him some food. This is 410 millimeters tall. This print is. I need a number between 4 and 10. Somebody give me a number between 4 and 10. Go. Fix the LDO. I'm waiting on a new wire harness. Had some wires break. Okay, somebody put 45. That's not the right number. 8. 1. No, not 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and let's spin the wheel. Spawn jingle, go. The winner is some snowman. Like middle of summer. Well, congratulations. Everyone clap in chat. I keep forgetting to bring the dancing baby up when we do the draw. That's okay. The dancing baby is always there in spirit. So let me pull up your information here, Mr. Some Snowman. Or Mrs. I don't know. Person on internet. And let me change my font down back to a normal font. There we go. Okay. There we go. Congratulations. So, hope you enjoyed the stream today. Again, if you are interested in this machine, there is a link in the description, although I guess pre-orders are closed right now. Too many people think it's cool. It's a fun machine. I'm liking this machine. I'm going to figure out how to enclose it so we can actually print some real plastic on it instead of this corn plastic. But yeah. I'll post pictures of this once the stream is done. Make sure you follow me on Twitter at 3DPNero. Shout out to Polymaker for giving us that spool of filament to give away at the end of the stream. Thank you Tripods Garage for the hat. Shout out again to FL Sun. They gave me this printer. Words and opinion are my own. None of this being paid for. I think I reused the same settings for this stream, so it probably has all the sponsored stuff. They only sponsored the one stream, and they didn't even sponsor it. Like I said, I would only do one stream. So this stream is from the kindness of my own heart. Plus, I wanted to play with it some more. Congratulations to the winner of the filament. For everyone who donated to the stream, became members of the channel, or gifted memberships, or became Patreon supporters, I thank you. I would not be able to do the things I do and create the content I create without your continued support. You make this all possible. So you're all awesome. Everyone else, I hope you enjoyed the stream. I hope you learned something new. I hope you had some fun. It is Friday. So be safe out there. Wash your hands. Enjoy your weekend. See you tomorrow. Goodbye. Oh yeah, some snowman. You're gonna get an email from me.